Welcome to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Braylon Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Running pattern to Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Where we bring you the best in sports, entertainment, and insight. Join us every weekday from 2 to 4 p.m. as we break down the latest games, analyze the biggest plays, and dive into the hottest topics in sports. We'll have exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes and guests, and you'll get a front row seat to all the action. So tune in to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Got one-on-one going end zone. Edwards in the air. Oh, what a catch by Braylon Edwards. His second touchdown of the game.
On the Woodward Sports Network, where sports comes to life.
There's plenty of teams that have quarterback concerns going into this weekend. The Lions are not one of them. Excited to be with you on another edition of the Braylon Edwards Show on this Wednesday on Woodward Sports. Ryan is with us. KG is with us. The man whose name bears this show, Braylon Edwards, is here too. I love that logo, man. Well designed.
100%. Yo, shout out to Anson Wells who put this together a little while ago. It took a little time to get it turned over and it's become the logo, but I like it. It gives us a little sense of it's refreshing. I like the colors.
Clean.
Obvious. It's fresh. It is. It's clean. It's fresh. It's all things, man. I appreciate the guys in the back, Anson as well as Ryan Lynch, who's actually to my right now. But I like it a lot. You said you might have had a gripe with it. Do tell.
I wouldn't say it's a gripe.
Not a gripe,
I
wrong
might
word.
have a little adjustment to
Okay,
it.
talk about it.
I would like to see either the number 1 or the number 17 in the middle of the microphone. Ryan told us that is very doable.
He did. I like that.
Other than that,
I take 1 over 17.
You would take 1 over
For
17?
this, I think the one
Because of the colors?
Well, maybe a little bit of that.
Okay.
But also too, you said clean. Well, one, yeah, it's clean.
Yeah, 1 is very clean.
Hey,
I think it jumps out at you, you know. And I'm not saying that. I would tell you know me. I'd tell you if I didn't like. I think it looks really cool.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the older one. We'll just say this one's a lot better. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's a good start, man.
It's a good start.
We can crown this a winner, if you will.
How
right?
you feel, Shep?
I feel great, man.
Same.
I always look. I come in here. I bounce in here with a smile on my face. I try to get here as early as possible. People are always very nice. Lady Jane's saying hello. KG and I get into a debate every.
That's my favorite part of the day.
But you know what? That's how you stay sharp.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're just going to
This is
surround
true.
yourself with yes people, then
You
you're
guys
not
sound
doing.
the same.
Yeah, you're not going to do yourself justice. How are you going to grow? How are you going to learn?
Yeah. To grow is
And how are you going to teach? You and I have disagreed on a lot of things, and then I end up coming around and going, you know what? It's a great point, man.
Same.
Really appreciate it. You
same
know?
on both sides. Now, I'm not coming to the Jack Nicholson conclusion.
Yeah, that's okay.
Jack Nicholson. But,
I don't
but
expect
other
that.
than that, I asked because I'm just in a good mood too, man. I think the weather is helping that. This has been an elongated summer. It feels good. I went to the doctor, found everything's good. So shout out to Michigan Sports and Spine and Dr. Jeff Pierce because he does work. It does work. That's why we tell you scan that QR code because I didn't even need what I thought I needed from my doctor. Thought I needed something more, and I didn't. So Michigan Sports and Spine for the win. But it's just hanging on to this summer. It's a beautiful summer. It led to a beautiful night last night, which I was down at the ballpark. Didn't get the result I wanted. But in just looking at the city and seeing the Hudson building in the distance now, I think we got a picture of that. Like just seeing what the city is becoming. The Hudson Project 5 years in, and here we are. It's
beautiful.
finished. The angle was nice. The people were downtown. Stopped and got a bite in Washington Park before we even went down there. We went to Layla. Just got a chance to hang with the city. There's a lot of diversity in the city right now.
Great
It's a lot of
crowd,
people
man.
outside, man. It's fun. Hey, this is a great time to be proud to be a Detroit. So I always love being downtown, and the city's looking good.
I'm glad you said that. I've always felt from that perch in the broadcast booth that downtown Detroit looks as good as any outfield picturesque wall that you can find. There are, when you're in San Francisco, you've got the water, and it looks fantastic. When you are in Los Angeles, you see a highway, but there's, land before that, and you see a lot of the really neat features that they can offer. When you are in Chicago at Guaranteed Rate Field, you see nothing, which still blows my mind.
Right.
When you're in Kansas City at the waterfall, Pittsburgh is beautiful because you can see the bridges in the
100%,
downtown.
100%.
Detroit doesn't take a back seat to anybody when it comes to what you're looking at from behind home plate or a visiting broadcast opportunity. I say this to a lot of teams and schools. Where you're going to position your cameras, you've got to keep this in mind when you're designing things. When people are watching you at home, what are they seeing? Really important to see what's behind home plate and from behind home plate, what you're seeing beyond an outfield wall. Do I like what they have behind home plate right now? No. I think green seats is stupid, quite honestly. But there might be some type of rule and regulation that you have to have through Major League Baseball. I don't know why blue, a Tigers blue wouldn't work. Why you put green, I don't know. I mean, I think it's ridiculous, but it could look really good.
Yeah, they probably don't have any more money after the home suite club that they finally finished. I heard about that. That thing looks amazing. Saw it in pictures.
How was it?
I didn't get a chance to go down there yet. Next time I go, I will go, and I'll report back on how it was. But just the overall experience at Tiger Stadium, man, it's a great experience. They lose the game. I don't care about that. I wanted them to win. They fought back in the ninth. But the thing I have an issue with.
Well, you're starting to care about it, though. You should care about it.
I do, but I do care.
Okay.
I do care, but I'm not going to come here today and say, oh, my God, they lost.
No,
gotta panic. Yeah, I wanted them. You wanted to clinch in 7 games, and now it's been extended.
Yeah, somebody had asked us that in the chat last week. I said no, I didn't think they would. Cleveland's got a lot to play for, all right? They're 2.5 back of the final wild card. Detroit's lead is down to 5.5. I'm not worried about that at all.
Plus, Cleveland is used to this space. Like, I feel like every year Cleveland is fighting in this space. They're either fighting to be 1 or they're fighting to be 2, but they're used to September pouring it on. Like, this is when they wake up.
Braylon, you are 100% correct. I was talking with their Hall of Fame radio voice, Tom Hamilton, this morning. He's the best radio play-by-play guy in baseball. He's so good. He said, Matt, over the last 13 years, the Indians/Guardians have played 25 insignificant games in September.
Oh.
In other words, they're in it on a regular basis. That number blew my mind. I'm not worried about Detroit missing out on the division. But if people want the number 2 seed, they better take a glance over their shoulder and see the team that I talked about, Seattle, is right there.
2 more bombs for the big guy.
Yeah, so 56.
The big dumper, as they say.
Yeah, the big dumper ties Ken Griffey Jr. for most home runs in a single season by a Seattle Mariner. When you're in the same conversation with Ken Griffey Jr., you're doing something. And he broke the record by a switch hitter all time with Mickey Mantle. If you're in the conversation with Mickey Mantle, who in 5 years in his league, or in the league, had 5 world championships, a couple of MVPs, a couple of home run or batting titles, you know you're doing something right. Yeah. So you better watch out for them. And then Toronto won again last night, so increases that lead a little bit. I'm just saying, if that's a priority for you into the postseason, those numbers are going to matter, and these games are going to matter.
Yeah, 100%. And look, you know somebody that's not in the same conversation as Mickey Mantle, and it's my guy, Javier Bass. Like, come on. Javi Baez, I have legitimately lobbied for him all season. Everyone on the show will tell you.
You're talking about Javier Baez.
I'm talking about Javier Baez, a.k.a. Javier Bass. Like, look, before the season started, I said that he would hit 300 and make the All-Star game. You can go back and check the receipts. He was batting 300 almost into the All-Star game. I think he went in with 287, and he made the All-Star game.
In fairness to you, you said 290, not 300.
Okay, true. That was even better. So I was being obviously a way outlandish take that just happened to take. But I've supported him. I've heard all the stories. I've heard all the Neil Rule cracking jokes about him swinging in the other batter's box, which is what I'm about to get to. And I've defended him even with that. Like, man, look how well he's defended. You moved him from you moved him from second to third to short to out in center field. You can put him everywhere. And he's even better in outfield. We never knew that. Last night, oh, my God, I'm at the plate. I'm right behind home plate. I'm on the right side, so I'm behind the visitors' dugout, 4 rows back. My guy comes up. I'm like, all right, Javi. He says, show him something. Like, I have been waiting for Javi to do something. I've been to 4 Tigers games this year, and he conveniently does not show up when I come. 3 pitches. 3 pitches in the second at bat, which is the first one I saw. He took them, and guess what they were? Right down the pipe. Strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, go sit down. But then, it's still my guy. I'm still lobbying for him, Chef. So I say, you know what? When he comes back up, he'll do something. I know this is going to be tonight. He'll do something. Brittany, he's going to do something tonight, I promise you. Relax. Comes up the next time, proceeds to take strike 4 right down the pipe. proceeds to take strike 5 right down the pipe. And then strike 6, which is the first and only non-strike that he received.
Out of the zone.
Out of the zone, mind you. He swings across, flips it up.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I thought I was going to catch it. That's how close it came to me. Behind the catcher.
Just a bit
and he
high.
went out and made a hell of a play later on in the inning. He turned the play to save a run at home plate. That was amazing. But, oh, my God. It's only so much supporting that I can do for number 28. You got to give me something.
Yeah.
Javi, you got to give a brother
experience.
something.
Two for his last 12.
Six pitches, one non-strike, and that's the one that you.
Hey,
Does he
that's
decide
Javi.
before he gets there?
That's Javi.
No, he doesn't.
It's like
I mean,
a sitcom. Dad.
some guys, what they may do is they may say, all right, if I'm getting first pitch fastball, I'm going to swing.
Okay.
So they may decide in that regard. I don't think they dig in the box and say, I'm first pitch swinging.
Yeah.
I think it has to be in a certain area. The ball's coming there. We all know, I don't think any of us are saying that it's easy. We all know it's really hard. You know, sliders are tough, okay? And you have a split second
This is true.
to decide it. But in a time in which this team needs him, going 2 for his last 12, down to 254 is not a good thing.
Shep,
Like,
I was looking at the back of his jersey, and I saw 4 letters. I'm like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I was like, maybe I'm watching Juan Soto and not Javi Baez taking those pictures. Maybe he thinks he's Juan Soto.
Yeah.
And he can sit there and take
because he's got a
the
great eye.
Because
saying,
at any time, Juan Soto can hit a bomb. But, yeah, I digress.
Yeah, it's I thought the encouraging thing, you know, the dramatics
Give me
of
something.
Kerry Carpenter on a 2-1
yeah.
pitch with 2 outs to tie it and send it into extra is awesome.
Talk about them
hey-
Guardians and Kerry Carpenter, huh?
Yeah, there's something about that.
Something about them Guardians.
The extra inning by Will Vest was discouraging. His numbers are really good in the 9th. They're bad in the 7th and 8th and the 10th for some reason. Can't figure that one out. And then the Torkelson 2-run bomb was encouraging
Agreed.
too. And he had 4 hits. He had 4 hits.
Yeah.
I will say this. I think it was the 9th inning. Was it the 9th or the 8th? Torkelson rips one down the left field line. And if that had any loft, any backspin on it, it probably goes out. But it's a line drive. The way Stephen Kwan played that off the wall and got it into second base to hold him to a single. Now, that was off Gaddis. Heron comes in and goes, Uncle Charlie to strike out Green, and then another strikeout of Jake Rogers, good pinch hitter, and then a strikeout of Dylan Dingler on an Uncle Charlie was really impressive. But the impressive part was Stephen Kwan playing the ball off the wall. No wonder he's won 2 Gold Gloves and getting it into second base to hold Spencer Torkelson to a single. Because who knows how you pitch those batters differently with him at second rather than first. That's a big part of baseball.
We talked about Steve Kwan before the game yesterday. Like, he just finds a hit. Like, this guy, it's not even against the Tigers. It's everywhere. He's a really good hitter. He can dig his feet in. Yeah. He doesn't mind getting in trouble. That's the sign of a good batter. If you don't mind getting in trouble to where you look up and it's 2-2 early in the count, it's 2-1, and you still find a way to get it to 3-2. You still find a way to get on base. Something else that I saw that was pretty cool. I think, Casey Myers had some strikeouts. He had 8 in totality. He had some good innings, had some runs. But when he struck out Arias the first time, he hit him with a nasty pitch. The pitch was so nasty. I watched it with my own 2 eyes. Arias swings, can't believe the pitch was there. Starts walking to the dugout, then turns back around and looks at Casey Myers again like, I know that pitch wasn't there. Yeah. He was so pissed. He thought about it, and you know what he did on his next at bat? He hit a bomb.
Yeah.
He hit a bomb, and then he looked at Casey Myers the whole time. But that was a hell of a pitch. I will tell you that. Whenever you get a hitter that strikes out, walks to the dugout halfway, they turn back and look at that the home plate. You put some gas on that thing.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah. That's a good memory right there. I thought Casey Myers, the 5 1/3.
Yeah,
the
tough.
pitch count, you're up to 87 pitches or so, is obviously concerning. Okay. I'm telling you, man, these guys are going to have to go deeper into games. You're not going to be able to rely on a bullpen the way they did a year ago in the postseason. I don't believe. Now, they proved me wrong a year ago, but someone has to elevate their game. And I've said this for a while now. I've said, why not Troy Melton? People shake their head. They laugh. He's a rookie. I'm like, I'd say that to the Giants about Madison Baumgartner. He was a rookie when he came on the scene. Okay. He was pretty damn good. Yeah. Andrew Jones was 19 years old,
Hey.
and he played in Atlanta playoff. Okay?
Don't get me excited. Don't get me excited talking about my Braves.
Well, I'm just saying,
You know
Bruce Keeson back in, I think it was 1979, somewhere around there, with Pittsburgh. He was a rookie, and he was contributing. There's been time after Jacoby Ellsbury with Boston, okay? He was a rookie in 2007. Yeah. Why do we think the moment is too big for some of these guys? What's gonna create a bigger problem? The guy who's got an ERA close to 6 and who hasn't been able to get guys out, hasn't been able to find the strike zone, a guy who's been up and down and up and down, or a guy who throws strikes and has got really good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I really don't. But there's no decision yet. I could be way off base in this regard, but I am concerned about past Tarek Skubal, what you do. I just don't know many teams that have one really good starting pitcher, and end up going to the World Series.
It's your favorite sparring partner over here. What you got to say about that?
I agree with Shep, though, because last year when they had the pitching chaos situation, but they somehow miraculously came back from 10.5 games back, you knew it wasn't a sustainable product at that time. And what they've done this year, I'd say they slightly improved on the design from last year, but it's still a recipe in which it doesn't really seem sustainable, even with the additions that you made at the trade deadline right now. So I know we talk about Javi and his misses at the plate and all that. Shout out Neil Rule. But the bigger issue with me going into the playoffs, because I think they'll finish the Central, it's really this pitching situation, because it gets tough in the playoffs. Runs are at a premium, and yes, you have Tarek Skubal, and that is the great equalizer. You can maybe get 2 games out of him for a series, but what does those middle games look like when you have a Jack Flaherty that you just flip a coin with him? You don't know what you're going to get out of him any given day. And Casey Mize, who has the stuff to go out there and pitch 6 scoreless, but oftentimes he leaves runners on base and things of that nature, and it could get out of hand pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't expect him to be perfect. Jack Flaherty's got strikeout stuff too.
No, he does.
Okay?
He's
I don't know,
but he gives up 2 home runs in 2 innings of baseball.
Yeah, look, that's going to happen in baseball. Power pitchers, Justin Verlander gave up a lot of home runs, okay? Power pitchers are susceptible to that.
Yeah.
All right? It's about bearing down. It's about giving your team some innings after one guy like Tarek Skubal. You don't want to overwork your bullpen. Here's the big fear, too. Like, okay, it was Detroit did it down the stretch, and they did it against Houston. They couldn't get it done against Cleveland a year ago. What if, just what if, even though we think he and Paul Skeens are the greatest pitchers on the planet, people in Philly would disagree and say Zach Wheeler,
right.
But the 2 best pitchers are Tarek Skubal and Paul Skeens, and we'll talk more about that later here on the Braylon Edwards Show. But what if he stumbles? What if he stumbles? What if he stubs his toe? He's not bionic.
Yeah,
it
he's already
happens.
injured.
Okay,
quote.
Oh, yeah, we'll see on Thursday. We'll see tomorrow.
Yeah,
he did stumble in the last game against Cleveland last year. Okay, and it's not his fault. Jeez, he's jump on his back, for crying out loud. But I think it's fair to be slightly concerned going into a playoff series when you don't have some stability behind that guy. That's all.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. And we talked about that yesterday. They got to find a way to get some stability behind Tarek Skubal, because he's going to have moments. And when those moments happen, you want to be confident in number 2. You want to be confident-ish in number 3. And right now, they're like, head scratcher.
Yeah,
head scratcher.
Yeah, it's a bit of a concern, and I think it's a fair concern to bring up.
Yeah. It's concern with. Are there any other concerns around the city with any other teams?
It's a good question. I'm concerned about the Red Wings for sure.
Yeah.
I would love, a legitimate another top 6 forward on this team. But
Stevie Y got pressed about his job security recently. So
yeah,
I did see that.
I find that really hard to believe, considering what he's done for the organization and his relationship with Mrs. Ilitch. I find that really hard to believe. Do you want that and then start all over again? To me, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you got to start all over again. I just harken back to way back in the day when people were complaining left and right that, we've made the playoffs 25 straight years, so what, we're getting bounced in round 1. My complaint to them was, at least you're in the dance to try and make some noise, and you can add to it. Now it's been 9 straight years. So the 25 straight years, folks, was third all time, third most ever. Now you've gone 9 consecutive without, and I believe that's the 4th or 5th longest streak in NHL history. So, and do you see anything cracking this year?
No.
I mean, people have got to play
The Krakens
better than what we're used to seeing them play because they play in the most difficult division in the National Hockey League, the Atlantic Division, so the hardest division in the league.
Yeah, and not to hijack real quick because I know we're up against it, but how long is too long? I think that's been the biggest question in regards to Stevie Y and the Iser plan. How long is too long in your eyes?
Yeah, I don't think you can put a number on it. I think it's done by actions.
It's not going to be a deal where we just need to find how long is too long right now. It'll be after the situation. Like, if it doesn't ever turn around, if they don't ever win it with Stevie Y, then it'll be like, well, he was here too long. Like, it's not one of those things where you're going to be like, well, I think, next year is too long, and the year after that is too long. Halfway through the season is too long. Mm-hmm. It's been 7, this is 8 years now? This is
9.
Yeah, this is the 9th season. I mean, if it hasn't been too long by now, then it's going to be what it is eventually. Either they will eventually win, and you would say, see, the patience was there. Jim Harbaugh, University of Michigan. Or you don't win, and now everybody's turning over, and it's like, well, we don't know. It was too long, and we should have made a move here. Or we should have saw the signs in year 8. It should have. That's what it'll be.
I think in addition to that, the most important thing is who are you going to do, or who are you going to bring in, I should say, to take his place.
100%.
Okay? So I think everybody has been impressed with his draft picks, maybe minus Sebastian Cossa, and less than enthused with his free agent signings and trades. And for 9 years, look, you're not going to hit home runs on all of them, to use a different cliche in a different sport, but you got to be better than giving a lot of money to certain guys that he has. And I think that's the issue. Now, you had a really interesting topic before we got rolling here, and I'm excited to talk about it because we happen to do things way too quick in our society these days, and that is passing a baton, or what Braylon calls early crowning. That sounds.
And it's not what you think it is.
I know, because that's exactly what I thought it was too. Trust me, I did. I thought maybe we had to open this idea up in a hospital.
No.
That's from my mind.
Nothing like that.
But nothing like that. We will get to that when the Braylon Edwards show rolls on a Wednesday here on Woodward Sports after we hear this from Ben Johnson.
Crisis. When it hits, don't panic. Ben Johnson will be there for you. They want you to do 3 things, though, and I keep telling you this, though, but repetition is key. The more you repeat things, the more you remember. First thing you do, you want to verify. Gather the details and snap the photos. You get the photos, you get the details, you have it all together so that when you do number 2, which is engage, you have all the information to pass to your attorney, which should be Ben Johnson Law. You need to let him fight for you. And the third thing you want to do, you want to notify your insurance provider. You got to let them know what's been going on, what you've been talking about. That's the steps. 1, 2, 3 to get you the settlement that you need or get you the case verdict that you want. The fighter is Ben Johnson Law. Let him fight for you.
You might have to fight for a bar stool or 2 at Art and Jake's Sports Bar and Grill, too. Yeah. And there's a reason for that. It's because they've got more than 80 TVs for you to watch your favorite sporting events. They've got 22 different types of beer on tap for you. They've got daily specials for you. They've got wall-to-wall coverage, a menu stacked with your favorite wings and wraps and burgers, you name it. They've got it. The atmosphere and everything is on point. Monday nights, rib night. Fajitas and margaritas on Wednesday night. So tonight, are you feeling it? I am. It sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah, you better believe it does. Monday, Thursday, and Sunday, they've got drink specials with Bud Light, Detroit Lions edition Bud Light cans, and Nutries. You name it, they'll have something for you. You're not going to go hungry, and you sure as hell won't go thirsty. Download the Art and Jake's app, join AJ's fan club, and make their game day every day a big day.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new face, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Baligian. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be than Woodward Sports. Live all game day. Go Lions. Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shaq Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff... The Tigers are the best team in baseball. Get the best coverage in Detroit right here on Detroit's #1 sports network. Woodward Sports. Every Scooble start, every green homer, and all the action can be followed on all of our social media. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's World Series or bust, Detroit, and we are here for the ride. Woodward Sports. Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball is gone! Boys are back in town. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season
and take advantage of our $20 haircut special.
Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
God dang it.
I just got jacked up.
Dang it.
And that's what you should do, man. I want you to get jacked up, and I want you to go to Planet Fitness. But remember, it's not about lifting the most weights there. It's not about doing the most on the treadmills or the bikes and all the equipment that they have at your disposal. Look, it's about doing what you would like to do. It's about working at your own tempo, your own pace. Because at Planet Fitness, there's no judgment to how you get your fitness done. No judge. We're not judging you here. No one's judging. Planet Fitness. Come on down, man. There's trainers on site for all the memberships that you get. And also the gyms are squeaky clean. I believe in, health is, well, how you get healthy. You go to the gym that's clean. You work out with trainers that know what they're doing. And then they don't judge. You come down to Planet Fitness where your fitness is.
If you were judging me this morning on the core workout, you would say a D. Okay, flat out a D. Yeah,
D for did not show up.
D for just a bad effort.
Okay,
I did what I could, but it's the core is not great. But
I hate working it out.
We can work on that, man.
You know what it is? You work the stuff you're best at.
Yeah.
So that's why guys like to go on the bench and they like to do arms and they like to do shoulders. How many guys are truly embracing a leg workout, right, or a core workout? Braylon is.
Yeah,
always. As I eat a chocolate chip cookie and want to chase it down with a Sun Cruiser vodka iced tea here on Woodward Sports. I had Kool-Aid so worried right there. He thought it was going off the flipping rails. Real vodka, real iced tea, no bubbles, just a clean, crisp sip that will not fill you up on game days. It's 100 calories. That's it. So that's good for the waistline. It's only 4.5% alcohol. That's pretty good
so you
for you
an
to
extra
feel.
Cookie.
Yeah, so you feel pretty damn good. It's perfect for tailgates. It's perfect for after a workout on a Friday. Okay, that's what it's all about. The Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea and Woodward partnership is so strong. Please drink responsibly.
I saw two players over the last 2 days that'll get you both excited. One, he'll get excited a little bit more, and that'll be Kool-Aid. Today, as I was leaving the doctor's appointment, who was walking into the Detroit Pistons Performance
Cade
Center?
Cunningham.
None other than, not Cade, Jay Ivey. Jay Ivey
be my guess.
So I knew it would do something to you.
Yes.
I'm not big on doing the selfie thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Yeah.
know if it's my era. I don't know if it's me respecting the space.
Yeah.
But I did talk to him, told him about the show. He says he follows the show. He also knows who you are. So Kool-Aid. Jay Ivey says hello. He says,
Wow.
what up,
Hey.
Hey,
What up,
100%.
though?
Last
Look out,
night
man.
was
Nice,
El
man. What up,
Qadim
though?
Muhammad. I told him, I said, listen, brother, whatever you do, get more sacks. They're going to need you. I had a chance to meet him last year at a function.
Whatever you do, brother.
Just get more
get
sacks.
to the quarterback.
Get to the quarterback.
Will you
Good.
please?
Get to the
Because God
quarterback.
knows you're going to have your opportunities.
I'll pay for your meal. In
Okay.
fact, you know what? Hey, this right here, this is on me, man. You know what I'm saying?
I
Get
don't
to
know.
that quarterback.
Be careful there. That dude looks like he can eat.
You know, he's on a diet.
Kool-Aid.
Quarterback
When
diet.
Kool-Aid hears that about a Piston, that they actually know him, he's got to run a lap.
He had now once again, this was just a walk by. It was a quick conversation. It was a quick dap up, and he went my way, I went my way, or he went his, I went mine. But he did have some bounce. He was looking a little spry with his walk. You know, an athlete can see a walk and like, this is some bounce to that walk. There's some spry in it. It's not limping on one side. It's not favoring another side. Doesn't look like it looked like he was ready to
It's going
dunk
to be
on
big for
somebody.
him this year, man.
Yeah, 100%.
They need him, especially if that one open roster spot is not going to be filled by number 5.
They believe in him. And that's the big thing,
And
too.
Jaden Ivey.
And Jaden Ivey.
Oh, I
they
thought you were going
believe in
Malik
him.
Beasley.
No, Malik Beasley, no. They believe in Jaden Ivey. It's kind of like the Lions, how they didn't, although they might have needed to, they didn't double down in a lot of moves they did because they trusted their players. I think that's what you're seeing out of the Pistons and Trey's Lane. They believe that he is what they drafted.
And that's
3 years
awesome.
ago.
I'm really glad for that. I think there's a little bit of a misconception taking place in Detroit. It's a narrative that they can quiet it quickly, and that is that he and Cade Cunningham don't play well together while on the same floor. And I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I think they're two really good players.
Kool-Aid's so excited, man.
No, they're fine. I think they're fine. I love Jaden Ivey's ability to deck it and drive it. Sometimes I question his shot selection, but I love his ability. They've got two guys like that, without getting too deep into basketball, but they've got two guys like that who can create their own shot, deck it and drive it, and really good vision to kick out to other guys. Now, they need other guys, a la Jalen Duren, to expand his game, I believe. I like
agree.
that kid
That's
a
the
lot.
one.
A little disappointed that his numbers went down last year compared to the year before. But he's got to become more of an offensive threat from outside of 5 and 6 feet, for crying out loud. I'd love for him to be able to say, you know what, I'm at the elbow, I'll take one bounce, I'll step in, and I'll hit a 12-footer on a regular basis. I'd love that.
100%.
Man, you know what, Shep, you're preaching right now. I do believe that Jalen Duren, he's the Piston that you want to see take.
No.
that
Don't
next
try to
biggest
extend this
step,
and make
brother.
this a Pistons
That's the one
segment.
right
No,
there.
don't be trying to
That's the
extend
one
this
right
and make this a Pistons segment. We have plenty of time to talk about them. I saw Rick Mahorn, too, when I was at Plum Market. He's
Shout out to the bad boy.
We'll talk about him off air.
Hey,
Shep,
y'all,
but-
almost got him.
I saw you. You ready to jump in? We're gonna talk about that team
We've
on your
talked
hat
about
right
every
now.
team in Detroit except the Lions today.
This is
impossible.
true. We have.
That's impossible.
No, I agree with Ryan.
No, we've got to talk about the Lions.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to talk about the Lions, and that's the beauty of what the NFL does. I can complain left and right about Roger Goodell and the NFL and how it treats its veterans and how it treats its players and so on and so forth.
Nobody really cares about those things.
Well, that's the biggest problem I have with it. Yes, okay, that's a serious problem. It's not too different than our country caring about our veterans. But either way, you look at it in this situation, and the NFL is so king. It is so good, and that's what people want to talk about every single day. And there's stuff to talk about every single day. Marcus Davenport's a really good one. Dan Campbell says should know by the end of the week. We can only hope and pray that he's going to be available for Baltimore, because without him, what do? You literally have on your roster right now 3 edge rushers. We know who they are, and one of them is hurt. One guy you saw today, and the other guy is due for a big payday and finally got his first sack and comes with a lot of energy, and love him. That's a scary situation. And I think in our society, especially in the media, you have to be willing to say, I was wrong. And you know what? I'm going to give Kool-Aid and Braylon a ton of credit here. Because when we were talking about Zadarius Smith, which is second on my list to the most drawn-out, worn-out argument in Detroit sports, to the coordinators for crying out loud, but I got tired of it, and I said, I wouldn't pay him $9 million, and that's with incentives. And Braylon's like, Shep, are they signing Aiden Hutchinson? The answer to that is no. Not right now, okay? Do they have salary cap? Yes, they do. Do they need the individual? Absolutely. I'm not making him out to be the second coming of Bruce Smith, but this team desperately needs it. And if we're hanging on a prayer, Bon Jovi, to bring
Shout
in
out.
a 6th-round draft pick, Haseen, getting better and hopefully be a difference maker, I think you are living on a prayer. Just throw the damn rope up to the moon and hope you lasso that son of a gun.
Shep, you just made my family so happy with that John Bon Jovi quote right there. You made them so happy.
Nah, I mean,
not a huge fan, by the way, but go ahead.
Oh!
No, you're 100% correct, and I appreciate the Bon Jovi reference right there. That was kind of smooth. It just is. It sucks, and you're playing a game against the Baltimore Ravens, you know, which you know what their quarterback's going to do. And the thing about it is you want to get guys on the outside to try to contain him, and that's not what they can do when you don't have a rush in from the side. Just saying, if Marcus Davenport is hurt, you know, a lot was put on him this season. If he's hurt, you know, we wish him a healthy recovery. But man, who's up? Who's up next? Because right now it doesn't seem like you put yourself in a position to have a guy. The interior for Detroit has been fine. Like, the interior for Detroit is fine, which questions the draft pick a little bit in the sense that you had DJ Reader, you had Lee McNeil, and I understand maybe it was for the beginning of the season, but those were stout guys up front. The issue has always been on the outsides, or the outside once you saw the rise of Aiden Hutchinson. So it just sucks that, you know, it seems as if we are right back in a position as if talking before the season, as if talking before last season about what does the right side look like. Because right now, you need a guy, and he's wanted, dead or alive, to throw the Bon Jovi.
That's another thing. Yeah. Hey. I'm not complaining about the Tyreek Williams pick at all. Right. So I hope people aren't taking it that way, because I really like him.
He's another big, great guy in the inside.
Yeah, I think he's been really good so far. Yeah. He was really good against Chicago. I'm talking about if you're not going to address it in the draft, and that's fine. You know me. I don't give a crap about need. I care about the player. If you don't have one graded high enough.
How many guys have been available and you passed on? That's Joey Bosa, Jadeveon Clowney, Zadarius Smith. The list goes on. The guys and you're just looking for a serviceable guy. You were looking for a guy that can help Marcus Davenport out, where he didn't have to pay 85, 90% of snaps, because we know that's not what's in his DNA. You just have a guy ready. Or if he gets hurt, what happened? Seems as though he might have gotten hurt, and you just don't have that guy right now in the wings, in the stables, ready to pounce. And this is a major game. This is a big one for him. So it just seems annoying that this is something that we've talked about, and whether you agree or not, now here we are in the very moment that we talked about. Sometimes it's okay to say, we botched this one, and fix it, though.
fix it.
And
right.
and find a way.
That's what good managers, not just general managers of football teams, that's what good managers in business do, okay? Cut ties if you have to. Fix the problem now that you've recognized it.
Yeah.
And again, this is what I love about this show, learning. You said to me about a month ago, Shep, all I need him for is about 20 snaps. 15 to 20. I think you said 15, actually.
Yeah.
Do you know how many snaps Zadarius Smith played for Philly last Sunday in his first game? 20. Exactly what Braylon was talking about.
Yeah.
And I get that I'm not expecting double-digit sacks, okay? I wasn't expecting that from your starter, Marcus Davenport. What you need is the threat of doing that, and for that team to recognize we may have to double-team him once in a while. Yeah. There's a balance there for your defensive line.
Also, you want a guy that you bring in, Shep, that a guy that that the offense has to take a look at. Mm-hmm. You know, you want to bring a guy in that when you're watching film, when you're studying, when you're doing scout team reps, you got a guy that, you know what, we want to put a little bit of emphasis on whatever number this guy is. Let's focus on this. This is what this guy does. This is what shows up on film. So there's a focus. If there's a focus, then that means they'll worry about him to a certain extent. Like a guy can give you 9 sacks a season and show up in the scouting report as a guy that, we got to pay attention, and he does this well, he does that well. When you don't have that guy, they don't have to pay attention. Like, it is a moot point. Mm-hmm. They're not even worried about the right side. Let's put 2 guys on Aiden. Let's shut this down. Let's get some chipping here and there. We're not worried about this backside because, 1, they have a good offensive line anyway. And then 2, it's like it's on the right side. It's the left tackle that he's going to be worrying about. They're not worried about that.
Although Muhammad has played very well. I saw a stat from Pro Football Focus, I believe, where he is 6th through 2 weeks for quarterback pressures. Not bad, okay? Yeah. He's just behind Myles Garrett, and he's behind some big-name guys. Yeah. Trey Hendrickson's right behind him. So
I want to see how that shows up. I want to see how that shows up because the first game, I didn't even know he was on the field. And then the second game, they played against an offensive line and just looked beat up and ragtag. And understand, you play against the competition in front of you. Yeah. And so he had a good game, 100%. But want to see what that looks like against the Baltimore Ravens because even Dan Campbell understands, and we have that sound, that it's going to look a lot different playing against a team that's 24-2 against the NFC with having those guys, Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry.
Yeah, and he's playing 37% of the snaps right now. That's going to go up if, and that's a big if, Marcus Davenport can't get going for this week. If he can't, it'll be very interesting to see what they did because if you lose, like they just lost Shane Zylstra. They lost him to IL. What did they do? They promoted an offensive lineman. So what do you read between that?
More DBs because now you blitz.
So you're saying you promote an offensive lineman and there's more DBs?
No, I was saying in terms of you said what do they do if they're on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah,
I jumped ahead.
Yeah, what is it? What do you read into that? I read there might not be a guy on their practice squad good enough to be promoted, and obviously Dan Campbell has said we're good. We've got enough guys. I like Pat O'Connor.
Yeah,
I like him a lot. Okay, called all his games at Eastern Michigan. Happy that he won a Super Bowl with Tampa. How many snaps are you going to get from him? How many snaps are you going to get from Muhammad? How much can you ask of Derek Barnes? Apparently, they think they can get that out of these guys, and I hope and pray that they're right because if they're not, this is a turning moment for Brad Holmes and the fan base if they don't win it all. I think.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And just talking about it, the question in which I was answering, I thought you were going to ask on the defensive side of the ball. If they're not adding in another DN and now they'll rush in, then what do you do on the defensive side of the ball to give them some help? And I said blitz more. And that's what you'll see. Brian Branch is a great blitzer. He reminds me of an Antoine Winfield type of safety in the NFL. So you blitz more. And they've done a little bit of that. So I think that's how you got to help yourself. You got to spy number 8, though. Like, I don't care what you have to do. You need to put 3 eyes on number 8 because that's not enough.
That's scary.
Like, that's not enough. And that's all you have to. That's all you really have to offer. You look at the defensive end right now, the D line on the outside. It's going to be tough.
Dude, the easy thing to say about Lamar Jackson is make sure he doesn't get outside the pocket and make him beat you with his arms. His arm. Do you know any defensive coordinator in the National Football League who doesn't have the same philosophy? Saying that is one thing. Doing it is totally different.
I'll do you one better. I'm actually Kool-Aid. You get that film, that conversation, Ray. I want to hear a little bit of that. I'll do you one better. The knock on Lamar Jackson in entering the draft, he's not a quarterback. He's going to be a wide receiver. He's not efficient. He can't stay in the pocket the whole night. This was the conversation on Lamar Jackson. He can run. He's a running quarterback, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward to the scouting report that got him drafted 32nd to where he is currently. You know where he's at? He has the most rushing yards by a quarterback all time in NFL history through the first 8 seasons of career. And also, you know where his passing efficiency is? It ranks number 1 all time, tied with Aaron Rodgers at 102.6. You can't just leave him in the pocket because that's where he's been destroying teams in the last 2 years, in the pocket. You don't believe me? Go look at last year's stats when he didn't win the MVP and what he did. 4 interceptions, 4,100 yards passing. 42 touchdowns.
Yeah, but you don't want him outside. You don't want him rolling out.
You don't want him on the field.
Okay. Well, there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
So the question is, you got to pick your poison with him.
Yeah.
And you would rather have him in the pocket than outside the pocket where he's a dual threat. That's my only point.
And they've started slow. That's the opposite side. Now I had to hype him up because, look, you guys know how I feel about Lamar Jackson. I pick him to win the Super Bowl every year. I pick him to be MVP every year. But with that being said, they struggled a little bit in the past, and I understand what the numbers say. Yeah, he has 4 touchdowns last week. I think he had 4 touchdowns in the open. But they don't have any congruency in that offense. They don't have any guys he's going to consistently. Mark Andrews is a non-factor right now. I know he was injured. He will play against the Lions. They're trying to figure that thing out.
He played last week.
But in a non-serviceable space, sparingly.
Yeah.
And then also in the run game, Derrick Henry, 178 yards in the first game. This is the guy. He's going to run for 2,000. Yeah. A second time, he'd be the first running back to ever do that. Of course, where was he last week when he was going a little sparring back and forth with the
Cleveland's
Cleveland
defense is pretty good, but yeah.
It is, right. But I'm saying, like, in 2 weeks, they're not the Baltimore Ravens, but I'm saying Detroit Lions are going to go up there and get embarrassed. They're the Baltimore Ravens, but I'm saying Detroit has a damn good shot. They still –
That surprises me you said that, considering I think 2 weeks ago you said – Lamar Jackson's 24-2 all time against the NFC. He doesn't lose to the NFC.
Yeah, I didn't say they were going to. I did not say they were going to win because they're still going to lose. But I'm saying going into this game, I'd be interested to see how they lose the game.
Be ready for the constant quarterback discussion after Lamar Jackson has the kind of day that he oftentimes does. Be ready for that, because I would remind people, as much as you're glorifying Lamar Jackson for good reason, Jared Goff may have not won an MVP, but since 2023, Jared Goff is number 1 in the league in yards, number 2 in touchdowns, number 1 in wins, which is really important, number 2 in completion percentage, and number 1 in passing yards per game.
How many Super Bowls is that one?
That's none. But if I wanted to turn those tables, I'd say how many Super Bowls has Lamar Jackson won?
And that's why right now, what did I tell you? I said Buffalo's a better team than them. I don't want to hear about the regular season anymore.
I'm just saying be ready for the constant conversation about the quarterback. It seems like we have that quite a bit anytime Detroit takes on a mobile quarterback and loses.
Be ready for this conversation for me. If the Detroit Lions lose and they look bad, can Detroit beat a good team? And hear me out when I say this. Yes, they beat the Green Bay Packers, who have been a good team. It's a rivalry. Rivalries happen. How many times have you seen a team on the other side had no business winning? In the NFL, in college, doesn't matter. Rivalries are a little bit different. What's the team that Detroit has beaten? You're like, yo, that's a signature win. Outside of the Kansas City Chiefs 2 years ago,
just about to say that,
with no Travis Kelce and no Chris Jones. And don't give me that. It doesn't matter. You play who's in front of them because it makes a difference. Because once they got those 2 guys back, they won the Super Bowl that year. What's the game? I was looking forward to the Buffalo Bills game. Dud.
Yeah.
2 years ago, the Baltimore Ravens game. Dud.
Yeah, I would remind you that against Kansas City, Detroit had some guys out too, including Taylor Decker, I believe. So I get.
You're talking about the best tight end in the league at the time and the best defensive tackle in the league at the time.
I know.
It's 1-1.
I'm just saying we conveniently use that as the excuse on why Detroit won,
but
instead of looking at who Detroit had on the IL or out
Taylor
to.
Decker in that year he's not the same player as a Chris Jones and a Travis Kelce.
I'm not suggesting he is.
What
I'm telling you is he's a starter.
Right.
And Detroit missed some players too. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
So you're looking for the signature win. Is it a signature win against the Rams?
No.
That's what I was going to say.
Okay.
It's a playoff win.
But Detroit was favored to win that game. It was a home playoff game. And you can talk about that one. That's fine. No, the Rams don't count.
I think it should. It's a playoff win.
It's a playoff win. You had home field advantage. They came in here. They were a wild card team, and you beat them at home. Like, it was a big win for the Lions. It got them in the second round of the playoffs, but no one thought the Rams would win that game.
I mean,
that shouldn't make it any less of a statement game. If you beat a good team, you asked, can they beat a good team? The Rams were a good team. They made the playoffs.
Okay, fine.
Houston
fine.
I'm reaching.
No, it's not
I'm
Houston.
willing to reach it.
I'm talking about one of the teams that people have pegged to win a Super Bowl. When they line up against those teams, they don't do well.
Okay, how many of those?
That's what I'm talking about.
In fairness to the Lions, how many of those teams have they played? The team that was expected to win the Super Bowl or get to the Super Bowl, how many have they played? That's the first thing we have to decide.
We can figure that out. My question is, my answer is still going to be the same. So let's say 2. If you want to just go 2, it's been 2. It's been the Baltimore Ravens, it's been the Buffalo Bills,
and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Fine, one and two, but embarrassing, to say the least, with 2 of those losses.
Yeah, Baltimore was an embarrassing loss. Buffalo was close, but they made it close late. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
I would even throw the Green Bay Packers, who I believe to be a Super Bowl team this year. I would throw them in there. And how did that look?
Okay, it looked bad, but they had won 5 of the previous 6 against Green Bay.
Right.
So,
but this Green Bay team isn't those Green Bay teams. Those Green Bay teams weren't Super Bowl contenders in my eyes.
Can you say
in your eyes that one of those Green Bay teams went in and beat the living snot out of Dallas when Dallas was at home,
but this
and
is
they
Dallas.
did win double-digit wins. Oh, we can. But every team, I suppose every team I bring up, you could easily just kind of deflect and say, but they weren't this dot.
It's not a deflection. It's did you really trust in that team? Has anybody ever trusted in Dallas in the playoffs since '95?
Say what you want about the Vikings, but the Vikings won 14 games last year when they beat them.
Yep.
And the Lions didn't have a defense at that point in time. It's still a 14. We've never seen it happen in NFL history at that point. Two teams with 14 wins at that point.
Did you believe in that Minnesota Vikings team?
No. I was definitely nervous in the game.
Did you believe in that Minnesota Vikings team? Did you think that was a Minnesota Vikings team that was going to get to the playoffs and they would be the one, not the people leaders of the 70s, not the Stephon Diggs catch, not that team who wasn't Kirk Cousins, by the way. It was Case Keenum. Thank you. Did you believe in that?
No. I thought the loser of that game was going to lose first round regardless to the Rams. That's what I thought. And I thought.
And you were right.
And whoever, and the Vikings had a more healthy roster at that time. So, and what they could have done at home, we obviously never know. But I think the Vikings could have absolutely won whoever they would have came against, which would have been the Commanders, I believe. But I still think the Vikings and the playoff Rams win is a signature win for the Lions.
You can have those playoff wins 100%. I have no problem with that. What I will say this is my original comment stands the ground in which I placed it on. If they look bad in this game, it's something to worry about because they've looked bad in potential Super Bowl opponent
games. Get it. I totally understand that. The potential. My only argument to that whole philosophy is potential Super Bowl opponent. Just because people in the masses believe that a team is going to get there doesn't mean that they're a Super Bowl contender. Do you believe, if you're not willing to believe in certain teams like Minnesota, which I understand, why would you? Or Dallas, why would you, right? What makes you believe in Baltimore? They've never done it. If you didn't have the affinity for Lamar Jackson, outside of that, why are you believing in Baltimore? What have they done?
Because every year, the team that beats Lamar wins the Super Bowl. The quarterback that beats Lamar, the team that beats Lamar wins the Super Bowl, or they get to the game to fall short to Patrick Mahomes.
Except for Buffalo.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
and he ends up losing to Patrick Mahomes. At the end of the day, the way I feel about them, I feel like they're an elite team in this NFL. And I feel like if they can't hang with the elite team in the NFL, mine is a feeling. Like, it's not about it.
Well,
it's a form
your feeling's a hell of a lot more justified than most of us since you've been there. I don't see how you can be an elite team if you haven't gotten there. If you're not going to give the Lions enough credit for not getting there and beating those elite teams, I guess I need to know who Baltimore's elite teams are that they're beating. If you believe they're an elite team, okay,
right?
Let's face it.
It's how they beat teams. It's how they've done it in Lamar Jackson's tenure, and it's one of those situations. He just happens to be in there of Patrick Mahomes, and they keep getting the job done, and they keep winning. Like, there's been a lot of
he hadn't been good enough to beat Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen hadn't been good enough to beat Patrick Mahomes.
But you still feel as though they're elite. Like, how many people were?
I mean, I don't.
How many people were elite, but they couldn't be getting by Michael Jordan? Is that their fault?
Yeah, it is their fault.
You said, it is their fault?
Yeah, right. I think so.
I mean, they got to overcome it and win.
Yeah.
And
we had
that's easy for the younger era to say because you guys don't see back-to-backs outside of Steph Curry. Everybody each year is a different year. It's a different team. It's not the same as when Jordan dominated everybody or when Tom Brady dominated everybody. How many people came up short against Tom Brady? That were great quarterbacks. That were great teams.
But you got to admit, Braylon, I mean, a guy like Peyton Manning couldn't get by Tom Brady, and everybody started to question, can he really be considered elite? Can he be really considered one of the greatest of all time if you can't get past this guy? John Elway had the same issue with Joe Montana. Not until he won 2 Super Bowls, actually won, but then won his second, and Peyton Manning won his, did people actually then say, okay, now you've arrived. They're doing the same thing with Josh Allen, and rightfully so. They're doing the same thing with Lamar Jackson, and rightfully so. Baltimore, I don't believe, can be elite if they're not getting at least to that game and giving you a reason to believe they are elite.
Yeah, the problem with the Peyton Manning thing is the reason why they started to say, like, I don't know if you can be elite. It's because they were the ones that crowned him elite. They were the one, Peyton Manning, year 4, first MVP, followed by next MVP. Oh, he's the best quarterback ever. They crowned him, and then he wasn't winning. And they had to go back and pull that statement off the board.
Are they not doing something similar to Lamar Jackson? Winning 2 MVPs, saying he's the greatest dual threat quarterback in the history, and making everybody believe that every year Baltimore should be winning or at least getting to the Super Bowl, and every year they come up short and disappointing.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson isn't the reason most times when they lose. Peyton Manning in those spots were. Even his Super Bowl numbers aren't good.
The Super Bowl in the rain against Chicago was not good, even though he won MVP. Obviously against the Saints, no. With Denver, his numbers were good. Yeah, not against Seattle, obviously. But when
the Super Bowl that they won, those numbers weren't good.
He's won 2 of them. I said the one against Chicago.
With Denver.
The Denver, I thought his numbers were pretty good.
No, they were not. He limped into the Super Bowl. Brock Osweiler actually got him to the Super Bowl.
Against Seattle, they were really good. I think they're the number.
When they got their ass kicked by Seattle?
I think they're the number
55 to 10.
No, I'm saying like as a season. I think they were Are you saying like in that game?
No, he's talking about in the game. We're talking about in the actual game.
Oh, I thought you were talking about in the year.
Yeah, he broke the record. 55 touchdown passes.
Yeah,
55
I'm talking about in the game.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I'll have to go back and look at that. I thought his numbers were pretty good. You know, I would argue last year Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson were the reason they lost their last game, is because of those turnovers. But I mean, those are the things that we can nickel and dime. It's not like I wouldn't want Lamar Jackson on my team. I absolutely would. The dude's an unbelievable player. But I think sometimes we get a little ahead of ourselves, and especially with the Lions, like I said, I'd like to know the teams Baltimore, the quote-unquote elite teams Baltimore has beaten, and how important it will be for them to show anybody who doubts them that they can beat a good team. And I wonder if they look at it like the Lions are a good team, a good enough team that you would put that as a sheepskin on your wall and say, you know what, that's a mark for us. That's a really good win.
I like that. Let's take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, let's hear some sound from Dan Campbell talking about those Baltimore Ravens. What does he think about Derrick Henry
as well as about Baltimore? I think most people are really scared of Baltimore, and I don't blame them because I'm nervous. Look at what they've done. They're scoring over 80 points.
I think
in 2 games.
I think most teams are scared, but I'm like, if you watch that Cleveland game, I think teams that have really good, a good defense and have some offense, like I guarantee you, John's brother, he ain't scared.
John's brother?
John Harbaugh's brother.
John Harbaugh's brother?
I guarantee you his team ain't scared.
You're right about that, and that's a physical defense. Yeah. Les Stanford's never.
For effect,
aim for effect. Les Stanford Buick GMC never scared of getting you the deal you deserve. I mean, and they've got great stuff, great offers right now. All you got to do, look, we've given you the Hummer EV SUTs and those numbers. We'll give them to you one more time, $599 a month plus tax. But how about the Lyric, the 2025 Lyric SUV lease special, just $489 a month. How about the Equinox EV? It's a good-looking little ride. My daughter's got one, a 2025 version. Special edition right now, $229 a month. Folks, you can't beat that price. Go to Les Stanford today. Check out their massive inventory. all the kinds of colors and interior that you could afford and want and need. All you got to do is go to their website, lesstanford.com.
And tell them where they can take that car to get it clean.
Get your car washed at Jack's, because that's where we go. But at the end of the day, man, look, we'll get your free car wash to get your feet wet, get you settled, and actually to get your car wet. 888-522-1729. Text WSN. Again, that's 888-522-1729. Beautiful days. We've got an extended summer. You want your ride looking smooth, man. It's nothing like driving down Woodward, man. You got the windows rolling down a little bit. You got your glasses on. I'm setting the scene, man, so that you can go to Jack's and get yourself a car wash. And remember, the $29.99 Unlimited Club is the way to go, because it's going to rain. A lot of rain this past summer. It's going to be a lot of rain this fall, too. But if you have that $29.99 Unlimited Club Pass,
that's the deal.
100%. You can get a car wash every day. Get that together at Jack's Car Wash.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shaq Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Baligian. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be than Woodward Sports. Live all game day. Go Lions. The Tigers are the best team in baseball. Get the best coverage in Detroit right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Every Scooble start, every green homer, and all the action can be followed on all of our social media. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's World Series or bust, Detroit, and we are here for the ride. Woodward Sports.
Sports fans, don't miss expert sports insider Dr. Jeff Pierce with Big D Energy on Tuesdays and the very own Braylon Edwards and Shep on Thursdays. We'll see him tomorrow. Can't wait to talk to him, tell him about the cupping, tell him about also shoulders feeling good, it's locked and loaded, much like he said it would. And it wasn't him, it was Rogine at Michigan Sports and Spine.
What about the suction cup?
This is the place. Got the suction cups as well.
Yeah.
They do it all to get the body right. Like any nicks and pains and bruises, anything that you might have, man, go tell them. I thought I had this. They'll tell you it was this. Want to make sure you go there because they will get you right. Michigan Sports and Spine. Scan the QR code above my head or call 248-426-9944. Dr. Pierce, the one you should know.
Let's say you're healthy, right, which is a good thing, but is your heating and cooling system healthy? Is your air conditioning system healthy? Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning, probably serving Metro Detroit for well over 40 years, a family business who treats you like family, can help you with that. Their specialty, heating, cooling, indoor air quality, that's big this time of year especially, water heaters, whole home generators, memberships, and right now, because they treat you like family, through December 1st, if you are a DTE gas customer, you get a free furnace tune-up just in time for the cold weather. I know it may be out of your mind right now because you're in the mid-80s right now in Detroit and Michigan, but it's going to get cold pretty quick, so make sure you get ahead of it. How do you do that? You call Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning today, 734-238-3839. That's 734-238-3839, or just scan the QR code and tell them the Braylon Edwards Show sent you.
And we bet.
By the way, a year ago, Baltimore.
I knew you were going to go back.
Lost to Kansas City.
Yeah, the Raiders.
All right. You can't count Dallas because Braylon says no to Dallas. Did beat Buffalo. All right. Regular season.
Yeah.
They beat Tampa. So did Detroit. I mean, Detroit lost to Tampa last year, but beat them in the playoffs a couple of years ago. I don't know if that matters. I like Tampa. They did beat Washington, but nobody assumed Washington was going to be a Super Bowl contender, so that doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Denver. Nobody thought Denver was going to be anything, so that doesn't count.
They blew Denver out. Make sure you tell the whole story. 41-10.
41-10. That's correct. They won at Houston. It didn't work for Detroit, so it doesn't work for Baltimore. And then they lost to Buffalo in the playoffs.
At the end of the day, I'm a feel guy, and I stand by my comment. I feel as though the Lions need a win against a serious opponent on the road, which is just exactly the game. They win this game, there's a different view on the Detroit Lions. You don't have to believe me. Just look at what happened in your own. The fan base. Detroit go out there and win in Baltimore. What are you saying about them? How do you feel if they beat them?
Now
it's not the same as if they beat the Saints. It's not the same as if even if they beat Green Bay.
Yeah.
You would be like, well, we own Green Bay anyway.
Yeah.
We don't care about Micah. It was one game. We weren't ready. If you beat Baltimore, if you beat Buffalo, you're like,
yeah. That's the best point you've made.
ooh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I was trying to find a way to get to that point.
We start to bow up
there
a
you
little
go.
bit.
And maybe that's how I should have said it, because they beat some good teams. I apologize. I never said they didn't beat playoff teams. I said they didn't beat that team.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. If you beat Baltimore, how are you going to respond? Because I guarantee you a lot of everybody's going to walk into work on Monday and ain't going to be able to tell you not a damn thing.
You know what? This team is
That's
not necessarily
so
on the level of those teams, of those squads. But I do remember how Lions fans were, including myself, when we finally beat the Seattle Seahawks. I remember that game. It was not on that same level.
They couldn't beat the Seahawks.
But they couldn't beat them. Aaron Glenn couldn't solve them.
Yeah.
And they housed us. And then they face mask, the freaking face mask game us. When we finally beat them, fans everywhere were like, oh my gosh, our offense can beat anybody now.
There are wins that have happened, and you can see the different levels of the Lions over the past years. Whether it was when they beat the Chargers. Now I know the Chargers weren't necessarily that good today. Now you remember when they went out to L.A., beat the Chargers?
Jared Goff was airing it out. Yeah,
100%. Like that was a different feeling. You was like, whoa, we went on the road.
We went.
You felt good about that when you start dubbing the Green Bay Packers and owning them.
We changed zones. Yeah, right.
100%. Yeah. Oh man, like when you were dominating the 49ers for the first 2.5 quarters.
Everybody went to their drawer and got a Schmedium on. Absolutely.
100%. Me too. I was like, man, I told you, look at that, man. They're a different team. Yeah, that's why I be cheering for them and not the Jets.
But Bray, if they beat the Ravens though,
just put it to you this way. Regardless of who was out, because people were out on both sides and they were coming back, they were getting their rings, the whole 9 yards. When you beat the Kansas City Chiefs opening night in 2023, that was the game where everybody said, all right, cool. Nah, this is it. I'm all in.
fancy Gators.
It took the energy and it took the confidence level to another level. I think this Baltimore win will be that. The Eagles in November, that's a team. Although I can't wait till you do your top 10 because I don't think they're necessarily in the top 3. But the Eagles on the road in Philly. What's the conversation about Jared Goff in the wintertime on the road, open air stadiums?
I'm with you.
So
I think I will say this: the conversation after the win over Kansas City, as nice as it was because they were defending Super Bowl champs and all that other stuff, there were a lot of naysayers. Not Kool-Aid, because he refers to the Lions as we, like he's suiting up on a Sunday afternoon. But there were a lot of naysayers who said, yeah, but they were without those two guys, Chris Jones on the defensive side and Travis Kelce on the offensive side.
I used that in arguing the conversation against you because it worked in my favor. Now I'm going to have a conversation with you on the same team. I don't give a damn who was out. Because realistically, what did that team do the year before? Won the Super Bowl. Same coach, same quarterback, same defense, minus one guy, same integrity DC. As a Super Bowl team. Yeah. So, yes, that win counts for the Detroit Lions. Yeah. But see, now we're on the same side. You know what I'm saying?
I pulled them back over. All right, here we go.
There we go. I'm back. All right,
speaking of the Lions, Isaac Tesla is a guy who has made, as you've done in Braylon's breakdown, which was fantastic, some really acrobatic catches. How do they get him more involved, and should they get him more involved? Because I've been crying for it, all right? You kind of put me in my place pretty good before the show and explained it well. I mean, it really settled me down. I'd like you to share that with the audience if you could, because I think it's a really good insight.
Yeah, 100%. I'll give my take, and then you can listen to Dan Campbell, because he said some of the same things, which I'm happy, even though we said it already. The thing about it is Isaac Tesla has made 2 magnificent catches. He's had 2 targets, 2 magnificent catches. Now everybody wants him to get the ball. And taking it further, it's been more than 2 magnificent catches, because if you count the preseason, he was 10 of 13, targets to catches or 11 to 13, and then obviously some also ESPN or Woodward Sports Network worthy highlight plays. So you see the track record there. In terms of getting him more into the offense, in terms of featuring him more packaging or more plays or more passes, who are you going to take those from? It's twofold. Who are you going to take those from? Because if you pass to Sam Laporta, is anybody mad? If you get Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamison Williams, Khalif Raymond, if Khalif catches passes, you're not going to get mad because he's making plays. Brock Wright scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting necessarily angry about that. You're going to take touchdowns off the board to get him acclimated to the system. So it's not necessarily, all right, we're going to feature him on these 4 plays. These are your 4 plays, and we'll get you 4 touches, and we'll work that in. It's touches within the plays that he's already in on. That pass Khalif Raymond caught, he had 1 catch, 14-yard pass. Yeah. You know who was wide open on the post route down the field? Hello.
Isaac Tesla.
It was number 18, Isaac Tesla. He had 2 steps on the cornerback, no safety help. This is a touchdown, but this is how he gets more plays because it's the trust in Jared Goff. It's Jared Goff now looking for him because now every time Jared Goff has gone to Isaac Tesla, what has it been? It's been a one-hand catch.
Highlight reel. Yeah.
It's been a highlight reel. It's been a touchdown. It's been a play that got Amon-Ra a touchdown right before the half, a big play. Now if I'm Jared Goff, he's already in on plays. I don't have to feature him. I just got to look at him. Now it's all right, cool. I know that it's 3rd and 4 or 2nd and 5. He's wide open on this. I can dump it to Leaf. Leaf can get 14 yards first down. This is a good play. Now we got the next play. But I know 18's down there. And I know 18, every time I throw him the ball, he makes a play. Now Jared Goff is like, shoot, the hell with it. 18's going to make something happen. Now you start to see him in the offense more. It's not necessarily giving him feature plays, which will happen. It's about Jared Goff taking a look of things he's already in on.
That's a great explanation. I wasn't referring to getting the football.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about getting him snaps. Getting him involved in the offense is one thing. Look, every wide receiver, you know it better than I do, every wide receiver, the good ones want the ball all the time. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Because you make plays. That's what you do. You make catches. You know what to do afterwards. You are a consistent performer. You can't go to Amon-Ra St. Brown every time.
Yeah.
You can't go to Jamison Williams deep every time. You can't go to St. You're going to have to play 3 wide receivers anyway.
Yeah.
Why isn't he that number 3? Now, I was to blame. I said he's going to be the 3. You said it was going to be Khalif Raymond. You said it won't be until like maybe week 6. Well, I think they're going to incorporate him a little bit more, and Dan Campbell agrees. He has said to the media this week they are looking at that, and this is what he said to the Lions flagship station in Detroit.
The more guys you have on and have a skill set, one of the things we like about him is, okay, you're seeing he's got an opportunity to make some plays. He's made some plays, but he'll also mix it up in the run game. He's a big guy. He's physical. He's not afraid to go in there. And he's pretty smart, Now, we don't want to put too much on him, but yet, man, we got to get him more involved, and we will. We're going to put him out there, but that only helps St. Brown. It helps JMO. It helps Gibbs. It helps Laporta. It only helps. So at some point, there's going to be somebody that's going to draw a one-on-one, and that person's got to win. So it's good to see him get better. We're going to use him a little bit more here, but we're still going to use everything we've got too. I mean, Leaf's a part of this, and we get Vaki back this week. So we like where we're at.
I love the fact that he mentioned Leaf. That was kind of like a happenstance. That was like, Leaf. It's almost over for Khalif Raymond. I love him dearly. But the good news is the NFL is at an all-time high in terms of kick return, in terms of punt return, and return. So Khalif, you still have that.
Yeah, he's valuable.
Yeah, he's very valuable. The best thing too is he talks about the run game. I'm gonna go back to Jamison Williams. I'm gonna go back to the Chargers game. Go back to when Jamison first got on the field. The best thing about Jamison Williams that they love for the Lions, because a lot they did not like, it was the immaturity, it was the drops. He tried to catch everything with his body early on in his career. It's the blocking. He always put his hat in there. It is talked about. It is focused on. You see the same thing with Amon-Ra St. Brown. You see the same thing with that room. Fast forward, they stayed with J-Mo because of that. Now getting to Tesla, this is what he does. He's a big guy we saw in the preseason. He's blocking. He doesn't mind. He mixes it up. That's how you stay on the field. Like when I was at Michigan, that's what endeared Lloyd Carr to me. I did not mind blocking. So he put up with all my other BS because I was going to go out there and put a hat on a hat. So Chris Perry, Mike Hart, insert running back and get on the outside. Same thing happened when I got to the Jets. Like Rex Ryan loved that I blocked. Hell, Romeo Cornell, that was the best thing he liked about me is that I blocked. When I was in Cleveland, it's the same thing. Dan Campbell's an old guy. He's an old school coach. He sees this blocking. Hey, I don't give a you know what. Hey, Johnny Moe, get 18 the ball in this game.
What does he mean when he says we don't want to put too much on him? Because to me, that stuck out. That stuck out a little bit. Thinking of a guy who played in the preseason,
Right.
as you mentioned, performed in the preseason, seems to be a pretty smart dude.
Just seems to catch everything.
But it's not just that, and you're right, he does. He's got great hands. I'm sure the gloves help. But when you say put too much on him, are you saying he can't absorb the offensive playbook? How do you read what he means by that?
The receiver that he is, Tesla, like he's a guy that's trying to learn a lot right now. So they can have him in the same time as J-Mo. What that means is he has to learn multiple positions. He's probably only played slot. Like every time you saw him in Arkansas, like he's running through the seam, he's going on a go route, he's going on a deep over route. So he has to learn the multiple positions. He's got to learn X, which is the receiver that is on the ball. You got to learn Z, which is the receiver that is off the ball, that does the majority of the motioning. And then you got to learn A. Some teams call it a H, some teams call it a B, but A is the slot receiver. Amon-Ra St. Brown knows all of those positions. J-Mo knows one of those positions. J-Mo knows the Z. And he does some trick plays, some gadgety things, some moving around. But he has one position. So now you got to get him on the field. What position is he going to play? So now he's learning this position. Now also trying to learn the plays that you have for him. Like, hey, on this play. So that's why when he says he's learning, they got plays for him right now. Just structure, hey, just go on a go route, go on an over route, go on a post route. But in terms of learning position and being able to move as the other three do, move in unison, it takes some time. It took J-Mo time to learn that offense. This is a complex offense. That's one thing about this system. It's a similar system as the guy before Moran. It's a similar system as Johnny Moe is instilled with some nuanced things. You got to make sure you know this thing down pat. Because you can get in that game and have a mess up and have a blow up, and you don't want that to be the case. So they're putting him in the spots that work for him now, and the more they see out of him, the more they trust, the more they'll put him in.
What do you think he's recognized in his first two NFL games that he didn't experience in the preseason or at the collegiate level?
In that first game, he realized, well, just watching that it doesn't matter what you do on the outside. If they can't protect, you're not going to get the ball. So get used to blocking or get used to staying in the game, like getting used to, it's not happening for you right now. Be available. I think that's the best thing he's learned in both games, actually. He didn't play but a couple plays in the Green Bay game. He was able to come in. What did he do? He caught a touchdown pass, and not any touchdown pass, a nasty touchdown pass. And in this game, he played a couple plays in the first half. What did they do? Right before the half, they call him in there, and he's ready, and he makes a play. It's something to be said about a guy that can stay the course, and stay prepared and stay ready for when his number gets called, because those hamstrings get tight. That groin gets tight when you're sitting on that sideline, so kudos to him.
Yeah, good stuff. Kool-Aid, anything in the chat that you want to get to? Because sometimes we
get
start
on
talking
roll.
and we forget about that. I know somebody in the chat brought up the fact that the Ravens last year on Bray's argument also lost to the Steelers and the Browns. So they said, stop it. That's a little ridiculous. And actually, they have not that specific point, but they do have a good point. We can talk about the good teams that they have not beat. What about the bad teams that they've failed to beat? Sometimes that can be as glaring. Like, I'm not excusing the Lions losing to Tampa and Buffalo last year, but at least they lost to two good teams. Some teams, not all, but some teams are losing to teams that you would have thought they should have beaten. What does that tell you about that team? Leadership, character, preparedness, whatever. But, and I know, look, it's really, you're going to say this, it's really hard to win every week in the NFL. You can't expect it. So there are certain teams, okay, I call them justifiable losses. Baltimore Ravens losing to a team like the Raiders or like the Browns is not a justifiable loss in my mind. So it's a good point by somebody who's joined us in the chat. Go ahead, Kool-Aid.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a couple people in here who have made mention to what Braylon was talking about as well. With Isaac Tesla, they believe that he plays physical, plays angry, and that he blocks angry as well, which is what endears a lot of people. It's not just the fancy catches, but they do believe that he's somebody that is contributing, like J-Mo in the beginning when he was trying to sift through some of the maturity things and sift through what he has to learn to stay on that field more. When he did get in there, people are saying they really like the fact that he plays angry, and they want to see him take that third spot, and they do believe that Isaac Tesla should be the guy to play in the more physical aspects. In your red zones, it should be automatic. When you're in those third downs in passing yards to go, you want Isaac Tesla in the game.
Then to Bray's point, when does Khalif Raymond play?
To their point, they don't want him to.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Well, that's it.
They said that Khalif Raymond can hold on to that
special
fourth
team
spot.
stuff. Yeah, and just so we're clear, Isaac Tesla doesn't have any maturity issues. From what we could tell. You could say that about Jameson Williams, but he has grown. Let's give credit where credit is due.
Yep.
You can complain about a 20 or a 21-year-old, but if that 20 or 21-year-old is learning from mistakes and growing, you need to give him credit for that too, and he deserves it.
Also, too, it's about patience. You guys tell us be patient about what we said week 1. You be patient about Isaac Tesla in the sense maybe the Lions didn't want to show him because they didn't want to show it. Maybe they got a package where first of all, I know they have a package. We saw it in the preseason. Where they're going to line him up out there in the red zone. Once he gets in the red zone, boom, take a shot on the fade route, take a shot on the post route, put him out there blocking, use him as a decoy. There'll be some things that come. You didn't need him last week. I mean, you missed some plays and scored 52.
That's true.
So it's like, let's pipe down.
Yeah.
But it'll happen. Baltimore is going to be a game where they're going to have to do some of that. Like it is what it is. Baltimore's that good of a team. You don't think they're elite, that's fine. They're that good of a team that you're going to have to do something out of the norm. You're going to have to put your playmakers in position to make plays, and he's shown us that he is none other than a playmaker. No shout out to Michael Irvin.
And Bray, just real quick, because this thing is kind of breaking up in the chat. I see Anthony Patterson. He said, get some daggone size in there, Tesla against a physical defense. And then you get Arf, who says he doesn't believe he says Khalif is okay, but he doesn't feel like he instills fear. He believes that Tesla scares people. But Joseph said, no, I'm pretty sure when Raymond lines up in front of you, you're not feeling that good about it.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think Isaac Tesla it goes on the field and corners fear him.
No, not yet at least.
I think they may respect. I don't know many. You could tell me if I'm wrong here. A lot of the really good corners, they don't fear anybody. They want the challenge. They want to match up against Braylon Edwards. They respect him. They know damn well how good he is. They know what he can do to them. I don't know if fear is the right word.
Fear is a good thing, because fear prepares you. Fear makes you go above and beyond. Fear makes you pay attention. Fear makes you come up with a game plan. So I don't know if they fear Isaac Tesla. They fear what he has the ability to do. And if you get a DB out there one-on-one, it's 5, 6, 7 yard fade route. He fears that Isaac Tesla, who's 6'4", 220, who has a 40-inch vert, he fears he can get up in the air. There's nothing I can do. Yeah. I may have to get a pass interference, which is going to put them at the 1 yard line. So there is fear in there. I don't fear him. I fear what he can do potentially. Like if he has if it works in his favor on this particular rep, I fear what the outcome may be. Like going against Darrell Reeves. I don't fear Reeves. I ain't scared of Reeves Island, but I know if he put his hand up under my neck and I wasn't ready, then I wouldn't be able to get off the line of scrimmage. I knew if he was in phase late, it was going to be a 50-50 chance if I could make that throw. Like, I knew if he set on my route, he knew what I was going to run. I knew it was a chance it could be a pick six if I don't get on my horse. I feared elements of the coverage. I feared elements of what could happen if I wasn't prepared. I didn't fear 24.
We're going to get into our top 10 teams.
Never lost.
After 2 weeks, okay? That's not an easy thing to do. And it's going to change throughout the year, right? But we're going to try and do this on a regular basis. Bray's top 10. He gave you his top 5 last Friday. It's changed because of what took place on Sunday. That, plus perhaps the biggest surprise of this first 2 weeks for the Lions specifically. And then a little bit later on, do we crown athletes and or coaches and or
entertainers, man?
entertainers. I was going to say franchises.
That's what the crowning is about?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do we crown them? Is it
I
too
got 4
early
kids,
crowning? We're going to get into that coming up here on the Braylon Edwards Show after this from Black Rock and Lady Jane.
Kool-Aid's got 4 kids. The best place to take them is the Black Rock. 20% off using WSN is the way to go. You get 20% off your food bill if you go to Black Rock Bar and Grill and you tell them, hey, look, man, Woodward put us on game. They got you covered. It's a sizzle above the rest, man. Look, all the locations, they also adhere to that. Don't miss their daily deals like Tasty Tuesdays, Thursday steak and scampi combo. Now, I had the steak and scampi combo this past Sunday for Grandma Mary's birthday. I'm telling you, you got to pull up and you get to control the steak. 755-degree volcanic rock. That's how you cook your steak. It's all on you. Also, check out the new summer flavors menu. It's still warm outside, so it's still summer. Pineapple brulee cheesecake, and I did have some of that, Chef.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot, man. I gotta get to the gym, man. Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
But look, man, Black Rock, you gotta pull up on them, man. Feel it. The food is good. The food is great.
A lot of guys come into Lady Jane's and they're wearing a hat. And there's a reason for that. They wear the hat because it doesn't look good what's under the hat. And what you got to do is you come into Lady Jane's, you sign up, and boom, you're in the chair, and suddenly you're looking really sharp. You can throw the hat away. You don't need the hat any longer because they've done all the work for you. They've made you prettier. They've made you more attractive. They've made you look good. Clothes can help you. The haircut is a must. And where do you get your haircut? Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week, 10 till 8. Lady Jane's, it is wicked awesome.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new face, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Ever wonder what goes on inside the game?
Deep ball's got a man and got him. Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Join Braylon Edwards and Shep.
Edwards has it. 10, 5, touchdown.
On the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Bar looks in zone. Got Edwards for the touchdown.
Where they dive deep into the heart of sports. Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m., they're bringing you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and a fresh perspective on the sports you love. Don't miss it, only on the Woodward Sports Network. Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Baligian. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be than Woodward Sports. Live all game day. Go Lions. The Super Bowl parade in Detroit will be one for the record books. Detroit just does it different. Woodward Sports, your official Super Bowl or bust Lions network. Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
If you recall, I told you I had a root canal the other day, and I had to eat, soft food like oatmeal, yogurt, cottage cheese. It's all clear now. So what did I do? Damn right, I got a Buddy's Pizza. Amen, man. Nothing better. I mean, it tastes so damn good. It's the original Detroit-style pizza, all right? I've been doing it since 1946. Nobody does it better. 22 locations throughout the state of Michigan. I call it a staple. A staple of Detroit. Somebody comes here from out of town and they say, I want a Detroit-style pizza. Where do you take them?
Buddies!
Of course you do. Thank you. You can save 10% off your entire order using this promo code 10MEAL. That's 10 MEAL today. Find the location nearest you by simply going to their website, buddiespizza.com.
If you're looking to upgrade your relaxation game, check out Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. I use this one about every single day, and I was told before the show that Spenny and Brendan are going to be looking to go to Massage Chair House to pick out the new one for the studio. They have the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest, located near the corner of Woodward and Long Lake Road. Experience luxury comfort with Dr. Eric Duncan, the wellness doc, creator of the top YouTube massage chair review channel. Book a visit at www.massagechairhouse.com or scan the QR code that's above my head. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
We coming back. I just wanted to read this real quick. This happened yesterday in the chat, and it got sent to me, and I forgot to read it, so my apologies. Randall Smalls, who's one of our favorite people in the chat. Everybody knows he's one of the staples of the chat. Shout out to Rando. He sent this in yesterday. I won 2 autographed rookie cards from Braylon. My twins, the biggest Michigan fan, and Braylon is his all-time favorite. I gave him one, and he literally cried and said, "No way." He couldn't believe it. Rando, I just want to say, I told you guys, man, I got you, and I appreciate you for all you do for the show. And way to pull up on your brother. You knew it was his. You gave it to him, and that's what the response was.
I would also invite Randall into the show someday. Okay?
Anytime.
And bring your son. We would welcome that
anytime.
We would miss you in the chat, but maybe during commercial breaks we could hear what you have to say. So
he can bring his laptop set up right here.
Yeah, you are welcome to join us. We would love that. This is a little confusing. Somebody wrote, "Look, I'm the dun dada, big enough to admit when I say something embarrassing that nobody's agree with. Shep and Bray couldn't relate." I'm confused at that take. Since I earlier said, look, I was flat out wrong about Zadarius Smith. Number of times where you've said the same thing to me. That's a little confusing. Maybe he can clarify it. I don't understand what you're referring to at all, where you get that take at all, because we are self-deprecating here on this show on a number of different.
Come on, bro. If you want beef, we got BlackRock on the black screen. 20% off.
I think I may have hurt his feelings yesterday with my comment, and if I did, I don't apologize.
Yeah, I was going to say, please don't apologize.
I apologize to absolutely nobody.
Booyah! Here's what it is. Look, I disagree with your take. It's okay. It's not a problem. You disagree with mine all the time.
Look, folks, I hate to tell you this, man, but that's what sports is about.
Yeah.
We're going to have debates, and we're going to have a debate right now because each week we're going to do a top 10 from the weekend before. It is going to change. That's obvious, all right? Because teams are going to be high, they're going to be low. Let's see how many stay in your own predictable top 10 all season long. We'll find out. But right now, we're going to do our top 10 teams in the NFL. All right, so we'll unveil mine, and then you can kind of bounce off that.
Right.
I don't know if Kool-Aid's got it, but I think he does. Although I'd much probably rather stare at that lobster and steak on BlackRock.
I can switch it if you want.
We'll go in ascending order. My number 10 is San Francisco. Now, remind you that Brock Purdy is one of 5 key starters out. Mac Jones came in through 3 touchdown passes last week. They look pretty damn good. I think it's a good football team. I don't think it's a great football team. San Francisco, for me, is at number 10. At number 9 is Washington. Should be concerned about Jaden Daniels' injury. Has not looked like the Jaden Daniels of last year, but it's only 2 games. They're 1-1 on the season. I think if he's healthy, I think they are a legitimate division threat, even though Philly's the best team in the division. I've got them right now at number 9. Number 8, I've got the Rams. Right back at you. Matthew Stafford, really nice win in Tennessee. I know how Tennessee is, but the way he handled himself, like Devontae Adams said to him, dude, you're the coolest cat I've ever played with. And he's played with Aaron Rodgers, who's pretty cool. Matthew Stafford took it upon himself to really get after it, throw a couple of touchdown passes, and make sure the Rams won comfortably. I think he's a really good, dare I say, great quarterback. I've got the Rams at number 8. At number 7, I got the Chargers. And I got the Chargers because I think they can beat you in a lot of different ways. I think they can run it down your throat. I think their defense is really good and kind of underrated. And Justin Herbert is starting to come into his own. Again, it's early. It's 2 games. But he's starting to come into his own. At number 6, I've got your Detroit Lions. Going to be really. The first thing I noticed about this shot is his
ball
hand
security.
On the football, just like you showed us.
Yeah.
Ball
So
security.
the only thing he's doing wrong in there, the one pressure point he's missing is ball's supposed to touch his rib cage.
Well, he's flexing his muscle, so that's what he has to do.
Look, it's true.
The
He
Lions,
doesn't fumble, so he can carry the ball how he wants to. He's not a
said
fumbler.
he's hitting the Braylon right now with that flex.
Got that gun.
when
he
you
goes to
average-
Planet Fitness. You know.
There you go. When you average 8.8 yards per play, you deserve to be bumped up, and the Lions are too good. They're too talented for them not to be in the top 10. I got them at number 6. At number 5, I got Baltimore. Lamar Jackson last week threw 2 touchdown passes, ran for 2 more. He is a threat. He's a danger. Their defense has been leakier than I thought it would be, but they're still good enough to be in the top 5. I've got a surprise at number 4. I've got Tampa. Now, this is prejudice on my part because I said Tampa is a legitimate NFC contender. Not the South. I meant the entire conference. I think their defense is badass. I think Baker Mayfield is an absolute dog. I think Mike Evans still looks like he's 25, and I think they got a double-headed monster at the running back spot. Cade Otton, I think, is a pretty good tight end. I like Tampa a lot. I've got them at number 4. At number 3, this pains me, but I've got the Packers. I know both wins are at home. I don't care, man. They were impressive, really impressive. I don't care if it's Jordan Love with the offense or Micah Parsons on defense. The Green Bay Packers look really good through the first 2 weeks of the season. Number 2, I've got Buffalo. Josh Allen with a bloody nose last week will wear a visor. That's okay. He wore a visor at Wyoming. He should be just fine. I got Buffalo at number 2. I think they're really strong. I love their 1-2 punch at the tight end spot. I worry a little bit sometimes about the wide receivers, but Josh Allen can help them. And number 1 is Philadelphia. They deserve it. They're the defending Super Bowl champs. They went into Kansas City. And even though it wasn't a massive win, it was lower scoring than I thought, they're still the team to beat, and everybody should know that. I got them at number 1. How far off am I in your mind?
We got 8 of the 10 teams.
8 of the 10 are the same.
We have 8 of the same teams.
Okay.
I think our top 5 is a little bit different.
Okay.
Actually, I think our top 5 is a lot different.
All right. You got Baltimore at 1, huh?
I actually do not.
All right.
Jerk. Jerk. Number 10 for me is the Indianapolis Colts. Look, it's after week 2. You know what I'm saying? I believe in this defense, always have, and I like what they're doing on the offensive side. Danny Dimes, he's setting up for the upset, man. Look, I got the Colts and the Texans.
Wow. I like that. Good for you. Taking a chance. No, I'm serious. Good for you. I couldn't do that. I couldn't take that chance. You were willing to do it. Credit where credit is due. I went with the Colts at number 10. That's awesome.
Also, too, I just want to show you our picks from last week. Picked the Colts to win, by the way, last week. So I just want you to know I'm a game ahead of the curve. So I got the Colts coming in at number 10. 9, I got the Cardinals.
Really?
I like what they're doing. Look, man, sometimes it takes time. I think for Shane Steichen and Gannon, Jonathan Gannon, you like what I did there, the Eagles 2 seasons ago. I think it took them a year. They're starting to find their work, and I like what the Cards are doing. I like the physicality. You know what I'm saying?
James Conner's a battering ram.
And it always looks like this first 2-3 weeks of the season for the Cardinals. They're either like 2-1 or they played some really good games and they get trounced in the end. But I like them as of now. So give me them at 9. At 8, give me the Los Angeles Rams.
Okay.
Same reason you said. Like I like them. I like everything they have. Give me 8, the Los Angeles Rams. At 7, give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I want to rank them higher. I love them a lot. Kalijah Kancey getting injured, that is a major move. Not to mention Tristan Wirfs is still out, and they still find ways to win. I love this team. I told you that they were going to win the NFC South as well. Give me them at 7. At 6, Detroit Lions. I got the same.
Okay.
We didn't even compare notes. I had Detroit Lions at 6. I took San Francisco out, by the way. Mac Jones does not do it for me. I know
you took Washington out too.
100%. Because I don't like how that looks. Austin Eckler he's not out. He's out for the season. Don't like how it looks. They can't get the wide receivers involved in the game. Just doesn't look like a sophomore slump. It just looks like something's not right with their offense, if you will. So that's why I took them out. 6 Detroit Lions, and you know how they can climb up this list.
Yeah.
You know what the Lions can do to climb up to number 2.
If they beat Baltimore, you would think you would have them at number 2?
Yes.
This time next week.
Because now
when they go into Baltimore.
Yes.
And they beat Baltimore, you're going to have them at 2.
They went on the road. They beat a team that I think you'll see in 2 seconds. You know how I feel about them. They went on and got that done after they just put 52 on the NFL team. I don't care. What, you rolling your eyes?
No.
Oh.
I was looking upstairs to see if they're going to go solo on you, so I could grab a glass of water.
Go ahead, do your thing. So look, Detroit Lions come in at 6. Kool-Aid, give me a solo. Let him do his thing.
Yes,
Detroit Lions come in at 6. I got Philly at 5.
Philly at 5.
What?
First and foremost, I have Philly at 5. I understand what they're coming from. I understand that they're 2-0. I understand who they are. I did not like how they looked in the last game, and even though Chris Jones is a sore loser, made the comments, that's why you only hit. I think that's BS, but I agree with him. That passing game, you got one of the best wide receivers in the league. You can't give them the ball.
They got two of the best
They're
wide receivers.
They're 2 of 14 that passed 20 yards. They can't pass the ball down the field. They haven't looked like the same unbeatable Eagles that they were last year. They're still a good team, and they deserve everything that's coming to them. But just in my rankings, they don't look that unbeatable because I don't like the Chiefs. I don't like what the Chiefs look like. The Chiefs were away from winning on the bad game. So give me the Eagles at 5. Give me the Chargers at 4.
Wow.
I believe it. It ain't no wow. I believe in the Chargers.
Yeah,
the Chargers. The reason why I believe in them is because they're doing it on defense, which they've been doing it, but not like this. Shout out to Jesse Minter.
Yep.
Also on offense, it's not the running game that is the catalyst for them. It is the offensive line
They throw it
and
a
Joe
lot.
Alt, which everybody was questioning Harbaugh for drafting out of Notre Dame. Now, guess who has time?
Yeah.
Guess who had 5,000 yards as a rookie with no offensive coordinator and no offensive line?
And by the way, they moved Joe Alt from right tackle to left tackle.
Like we were going to do once upon a time until he just became too good at right tackle. I like this Chargers team. They will figure out the running game.
Yeah.
Like, that's where they're weak at right now, and that's technically where they're strong. Give me
I
Chargers
like
at 4.
I picked them to win the West this year. Yeah,
same.
I like them.
I agree with you. Number 3, you guessed it, Baltimore Ravens. I got the Baltimore Ravens 3. I think they're just as good as Buffalo. Guess what? They didn't beat Buffalo. Regardless of how the win happened, Buffalo got the dub. That's why Buffalo is number 2 over the Baltimore Ravens. And that just leaves one team, and it ain't the Commanders or the 49ers. It's the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers.
At number 1.
Number 1.
Who you picked to win the North. Just so people are aware, before the season began, you picked them to win the North. So did your dad, by the way.
He first of all, my dad picked them to win the North back in February.
Yeah, he told me at your party. I'm picking Green
100%.
Bay. Yeah, we had a good debate about that.
It can change 100%, but what Green Bay has done, 2 playoff teams, 2 really good playoff teams. You look at the Detroit Lions and you look at what the Washington Commanders, you still believe they're going to be. They manhandled them. And they're the 2 best wins for a 2-0 team.
Yes.
That's how I did
That's
the
a
measurement.
great point.
Yeah, the defense looked amazing in both games, averaging 4 sacks. And Jordan Love, he no longer has the pressure of having to be the catalyst with a good defense. He can just be a good quarterback with a great defense. So Green Bay, number 1.
That is such a good breakdown.
Yeah.
Why? Like
thorough.
No, seriously, I start to think about it. Like, if you're looking at it just from this synopsis, the 2 games.
Yeah.
Who's got the 2 best wins in the National Football League?
Packers.
The Packers.
Braylon's right. Packers do. I can complain they're both at home. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay? There's a lot of teams that lose at home. High Lions to Washington a year ago. What did I say? Week 1, 7 home teams lost.
Yeah.
Week 2, 7 home teams lost. So it doesn't matter.
Power stat.
I like how you setting it up.
Yeah.
I like how you setting up week 3.
I'm quite honestly, I'm a little disappointed. I put them at 3 right now. That's really good. I love it.
Lions definitely, and I understand if the Lions beat the Baltimore Ravens, like I definitely think they climb. Because I got Green Bay 1, and then I got Buffalo. Yeah, they could climb. They climb to 3.
Yeah.
I won't put them before Buffalo, but they'll climb to a strong 3.
And it's impossible to put them ahead of Green Bay when Green Bay beat them head to head, and beat them as decisively might be a little bit of a strong word, but yeah, okay, that's great stuff. Appreciate it very much.
I appreciate yours. Well done.
Yeah, I love the breakdown for sure. All right, we have a tendency to crown players and teams and entertainers pretty quick in our society today.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's so hard for us to take a step back and go, I'm going to wait and see. But that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody wants to be first rather than right, and you've got an example of that recently in the entertainment world, don't you?
So, look, as it relates to sports, everything Shep said is exactly correct. And I believe that conversation started, you guessed it, LeBron and MJ. Once the Bronsexuals, as they're called, once they came over with the narrative. And by the way, the narrative started when they won their first championship in Miami, which would have been his, what? You guessed it, first ring. They were trying to crown him. But I think that's when it started having the conversation, well, LeBron's better than Michael Jordan. Patrick Mahomes hadn't even won the Super Bowl. Yeah. Well, let's just say he won 1. Oh, my God, Mahomes is going to be better than Brady. Then he wins 2. Mahomes is better than Brady. 3. Mahomes is he's still 4 behind, and we saw what happened in the Super Bowl last year.
And Brady's played in 10.
100%.
But to your point about LeBron, they did it with Kobe.
They did.
Hell, they did it with Harold Miner for crying
Baby
out loud.
Jordan.
Yeah, all
Baby
that stuff.
Jordan.
But go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Some of the young kids, too. You know, and I'm not saying it's an era deal where it's all Gen Z. I'm just saying in this era, because there's 50-year-olds that do it, 60-year-olds that do it, 20-year-olds that do it. Like, all the kids talking about Mike Trout is better than Barry Bonds. I remember the first time I heard that, well, he's 8 MVPs and this, that, and the third. You have got to be kidding me to think that is even a conversation. But the one I saw today had nothing to do with sports, and I just like, what are we doing in society? Don't know if it is completely factual, but I know a lot of people believe this, so I can bring it up. They think Beyonce has surpassed Michael Jackson in some way, shape, fashion, or form. First of all, he's the king of pop. He's not the queen of pop.
And he didn't give himself that moniker, by the way.
Also, it didn't take his wife to come on stage and say, no, my husband's the best of all time, as Jay-Z has done for Beyonce. Kudos.
Yeah. Or somebody presenting somebody else an award.
Cheer your wife on as you should. Ain't no way in hell.
Remember when somebody was presenting somebody else an award and said,
Kanye?
sorry, but yeah. Was that what it was?
It was Kanye.
It's like, have some grace for crying out loud.
We have got to stop.
Yeah.
We have got to stop. I went and looked at Mike's, some of his history, some of his awards, some of his achievements, some of his records, which still stand. I started writing them down. So many that I had to print them out, and it just kept going and going and going.
Yeah.
This is 12 pages of records and crazy things that he's done. I don't. In what category? In what capacity? Why are we so eager to crown the next one? Why are we so like? In my area, you had to go out and do it.
Yeah. In fairness to Beyonce, and I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke. I can't sing a damn thing she sings. Okay. I don't know. It's just not me. But she's really attractive, obviously. That doesn't have anything to do with it.
Right.
What it has to do is, here's a guy who was named the king of pop. He didn't give him this. He's not LeBron James, where I'm writing it on the back of my shoe. I'm doing it myself. I'm promoting myself. He didn't do that. In fairness to Beyonce, though, she's been at it a long time.
She has.
Okay? It's not like she's brand new and we're just crowning her.
Right.
We have taken, or she has, or whoever said it, has taken their time before they've done that. I just think it's kind of a ridiculous comparison because I don't think anyone can come close to Michael Jackson.
They can't come close to him either.
Yeah,
Michael's
really fast. Michael
100%.
Really
Shout out to the gold shoes. Michael Jackson had his first number 1 on the Billboard 200 at 11.
Damn.
Hard stop. He had his first number 1 hit on the Billboard 200 at 11. Like this is when
at
the greatness,
age 11.
At age 11.
Yeah.
This is when the greatness starts. Relax. Like Beyonce is she's a dope artist. She appears to two types of individuals. Michael Jackson appeared to everyone. Everybody was passing out. Not just women for Beyonce, not just others for Beyonce. Yeah. Everyone is passing out for Michael. Grown men in the audience, they got 2 kids and ain't on the down low, passing out because of Michael.
I think people crown, this next GOAT because they want to be
in
right.
that era.
What?
They want to be like in the same era and it's happened with me?
No, I think they want to be like, well, I told you 5 years ago that Patrick Mahomes was going to surpass Brady. I think that's ultimately what they want to say.
Yeah. They want to be first.
Yeah. It doesn't mean that it's right.
No,
Beyonce is not better than Michael Jackson. Mahomes is not better than Brady. But I think it's just the fact that, I want to be right to say this. I remember when Lamar Jackson was first, really getting out of the running back narrative that people were like, Lamar Jackson's the next GOAT. Lamar Jackson's the next greatest thing. I was seeing it. And I was like, he hasn't won anything yet. Like, you can't say he hasn't even been to a Super Bowl. Still hasn't been to a Super Bowl. Hasn't won a Super Bowl. You can't crown someone a GOAT for something they haven't done. And another thing that I do find a little bit annoying about,
go off, Ryan.
This era is sometimes you see people say, "Oh yeah, I'm the greatest of all time." But your generation and Michael Jordans of the world, the Michael Jacksons of the world, they don't crown themselves a GOAT. Exactly. Other people and their peers
it's a great point.
crown them.
Yeah, that's my reference to LeBron James putting on the back of his shoes. Like Michael Jordan didn't do that.
No one does
Wayne
that.
Gretzky didn't do that in his skates.
Oh, here's
Wayne
Connor
Gretzky-
McDavid. He's the best of all time.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I mean-
Ovi just broke the record, and he still ain't better than Wayne Gretzky.
Exactly.
Pump the brakes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but in fairness to the conversation, people have done that for a long. People have been trying to tell us who the greatest band of all time is to take the place of the Beatles, and no one's going to take the place of the Beatles because no one's had more number one hits. No one's had more top Billboard 25 on the charts and all that other stuff. So people are always looking, and I think it's a generational thing. And that's not just with Ryan's generation or Kool-Aid's or yours or mine. It's we want to be able to say, it's a lot like the Barry Sanders argument. I want to be able to say, I watched the greatest running back of all time. Our franchise had the greatest running back of all time.
Hold up.
That's what pissed people off more than anything. You had a chance to break Walter Payton. You could, our guy. My generation had the best of ...
Yeah.
That's what people want to be able to say.
Only difference is like Barry is a universal truth. You watch your mouth. That's the universal truth. He's the best of all time.
Yeah, except for his father, who said it was Jim Brown.
That's cool.
So
you know.
which is
It's Pops can say something
which
different.
seemed a little strange. But people in Chicago probably felt that way about Walter Payton. People in Dallas feel that way about Emmitt Smith, and maybe they felt that way about Tony Dorsett even before then. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think that's what happens, especially in sports, maybe in pop culture and things of that nature. We want to be able to say, I saw the best, or I had the best. And maybe that's what they're pushing right now with Beyonce. I don't know.
I was about to say something about the running backs, and like, I'm glad I didn't say it. Like, Derrick Henry is sneaky. I forget the things he's done. I was about to say, well, Barry's the only one that went 2,000 and 2,000, but that's not true because Derrick Henry had 2,000 Alabama his last year, and he's had 2,000 league. Let me ask you this. Good question. If he becomes the first to do it twice, does that do something for him in terms of speeding him up the ladder of running backs? Because he's on pace.
I would think it would.
Last year. Well, excuse me.
I would think it would, but I'll turn that around on you. And it's interesting you say that because
no one's ever done 2,000.
My son just asked me that last weekend. He said, Dad, is Derrick Henry a top 10 back? And I said no.
Yeah.
But let me ask you a question in all sincerity at the collegiate level. When people talk about the greatest running backs in college history, do they bring up Archie Griffin?
2 Heisman trophies, the only one to do it?
They don't.
Yeah, but 2 Heisman trophies. Yeah, okay, this is gonna sound stupid because the Heisman is the penultimate in college football and sports in general. It's one of those ones. But 2000s, like it's different because it is the running back space. Like 2000 means like this is what you get judged on at your position, and you had 2,000 yards twice. That's a little bit different than winning an award that you can an award, if you will.
I don't know, you're voting on it. I mean,
yeah, but it's political.
Nationwide.
It's political to a certain
nationwide.
extent.
It's political from a good standpoint, but it's also political from a bad standpoint too.
True, but like you had to go out and get those 2,000 back to back in the NFL, and nobody's ever done that.
Yeah.
Like if that was something it could be done, someone would have done it by now. Whether it was Barry, whether it was Emmett, whether it was Eric Dickerson, they've gotten
Terrell
close.
Davis,
but they haven't done it. The thing about Derrick Henry though that bothers me though, it's gonna sound like hate, is he got 2,000 in this era. This is a pass-driven era, man. It's a pass-driven era. It opens up a little bit for the runs. A little bit easier is all I'm saying.
Well, you think it's easier?
Yes. Derrick Henry's same size as the defensive lineman he's going against.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with the era?
Look, man, I'm just having some fun. I'm just saying, because all he do is pass. Like right now, Lamar Jackson drop back. It's 3-4 wide. Get the ball to Derrick Henry, a little softer.
Yeah, I get it. So you're saying the 2,000 yards that Eric Dickerson gained was harder because they were playing for the run.
My dad played against Eric Dickerson. Great story. I'm glad you brought that up. Eric Dickerson, not first, but the record holder, 2,164 yards or 2,194 yards, whatever it is. He had 2 games left in the season that he broke it. 2 games left to get to 2,000. They played the Houston Oilers, who my dad played for, and then they played, I always forget that part of the story because it's irrelevant because he didn't need to get to them. His plan, he needed 178 yards. I'm going to split it up. I'm going to get as much as I can against the Houston Oilers, and then I'll get the rest against the last team, and that'll be 2,000. Somebody on my dad said somebody on the team was doing some dirty stuff in the pile, some extra pokes, some extra grabs, some extra elbows. He said Eric Dickerson got up, threw the ball, and said, I'm getting it all today. Check the record. He went out there and got 190 yards and broke the record that day. The last game, he just added on to it. He was a dog.
Yeah. Played San Francisco the last game.
He didn't need it. Yeah.
Didn't need against, the
What
Niners,
did he get? Is 190, 100? Yeah, I'll look it up. We'll figure it out.
Against the Oilers?
Yeah, we'll look it up.
Team?
While we look it up, Kool-Aid, we promised the individuals, we promised everybody that we would get to more mailbag questions today. We don't want to be liars. Kool-Aid, get the mailbag rocking and rolling.
Hey, Eric Dickerson rushed for 215 yards that day.
215.
Go ahead, Kool-Aid. Sorry about that. Just had to
No, you're good.
feed the fire there.
Shout out to the Houston Oilers and Love You Blue. Sorry, Dad.
God, I love that.
This is my dad's favorite story. He tells all the time.
By the way, Mike Renfro was inbounds in Pittsburgh. Should have beaten the Steelers. Go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you.
And I saved some of them from yesterday, too, because the good people sent them some good questions. Michael Wary from yesterday says, mailbag, how long will it take for Brad to make a move now that Davenport is possibly out for the season?
Ooh. He's got some information for us. Out for the season? Wow.
That's what Mr. Michael Wary.
I don't think he will.
What everyone's speculating.
I don't think he will. I don't even think, from what I saw yesterday, folks, you know this, every Tuesday they bring in people, okay, because it's a mandatory day off for the NFL.
There were no DNs on that list.
Right, and there were no DNs.
This is the thing. No. The answer is no. You don't have to ask again. The reason why is because, pay attention, they have told us at every turn, especially in the last 3 weeks, we're good. We're good. We're good. We've heard that 3 or 4 times, so I think they're letting you know that they believe they're good. However they plan on attacking the right end position, whether he plays or does not, they feel as though they're good. Now, do I agree? No, but I'm not the GM. I'm not the coach, and it's not for me to decide.
Yeah, and here's an interesting one, too, man. I'm seeing some people here talking about the fact that national analysts are saying that the Lions should trade for Kayvon Thibodeau, and they want you guys' They want you guys' thoughts on it. Shout out to Charles McClain who put that in the chat.
Thanks, Charles. What would you trade him? It's easy to. I've always felt
100%.
Yep.
What are you giving up?
I knew that was
I want to know what you'd give up.
So I was on record as saying I wanted Kayvon Thibodeau over Aiden Hutchinson. I said that in 2021. It is what it is. I said that then. I stick by it. I'm going to stand with what I said.
You don't agree with that now.
No, I
just
don't.
Stick by it because you're telling people.
Right. I'll make sure you know that's where I sided on. Obviously, Aiden has had a much better career thus far, even with the injury last season. I don't know. I mean, first round, third round, and some players. Just what years are you talking about? I would give your first round is not gonna. It's one of those things. Now that you're a good team, you're looking at picks 27 to 32, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
Do you package in a 3 this year, and maybe a 4 the following year? Do something creative and some delayed drafts or something of that nature. Because what happens if you get a Kayvon Thibodeau, and I don't know if the Giants want to do it, if there's any truth to it. Let's just act like it is. Look at what the infusion of Micah Parsons did for the Green Bay Packers. Is Kayvon Thibodeau Micah Parsons? No, he's not. But is Kayvon Thibodeau a really good defensive end that has Pro Bowl potential, maybe even slightly in consistent space, operating on the other side of Aiden? Like, remember what we talked about? The scouting report? Like, guys having to say, this is what we're going to have to do. Kayvon Thibodeau makes you turn on the tape and say, okay, this is how we kind of want to attack him and approach him. Gives you a player that
Yeah, I think what you have to do is you have to look at history of the NFL to a certain extent. So we were talking about this about Micah Parsons. What did Dallas get for Micah Parsons? Right? They got 2 firsts.
Yep.
And they got a player. Now, and a good player.
Yeah.
Kenny Clark. Kayvon Thibodeau is not Micah Parsons.
Exactly.
People were talking about prior to that. Khalil Mack went from the Raiders to the Bears.
Yeah.
I think it was 2016.
Yes.
And Chicago had to surrender 2 firsts, a third, and a fifth.
Yeah.
And the Raiders got also had to chip in a second and a fifth for Khalil Mack.
And that's the good thing about it, though. The 2 players that you named at that particular time were Khalil Mack, as he was number 1 player in his position, maybe number 2. Like, he was coming off 2 All-Pros and then 4 Pro Bowls. Like, it's a different type of player. Micah Parsons, he's done – only one other person has done what he's done. Yeah. So that market, that pool is a lot bigger. Kayvon Thibodeau, he hasn't done that. So
you're right.
Let's start bargaining a little bit.
So with all that said, I think you'd have to give up a high round draft pick, maybe not necessarily a first, but at least a second.
Yeah.
You'd have to give up multiple picks. Would I do it for him? Absolutely. I would do it. Now, they're not my picks.
Yeah.
Brad Holmes is really good with the
It's
Lakers.
not our money either. And everybody else is always arguing about the money. Oh, my God, don't spend the money. It's not yours. Just like it's not our pick.
Especially to protect that Super Bowl window or garage.
What's that?
Especially to protect that
Don't
Super
do that
Bowl
to
window
Shep.
or
Don't
garage.
mention that word. Don't
Yeah.
I would just say this. The reason why I would do it is, one, you can give up picks that you don't – I mean, you need them, but this is something better. And also, you never have to address this again. Like, you get Kayvon Thibodeau as the right end, you don't have to address the end again. And he's not making the money that Trey Hendrickson is making, because I know that's what everybody deep down inside is thinking. Well, the Bengals, it's over there anyway. We'll get him next year.
Yeah, the only thing I would say to that, though, he is in year 4 because he came out in the same draft as such. So the fifth year, you've got to extend him or pick that up, if you will. And then he hits free agency. He's a guy who I think last year had 5.5 sacks. The year before 11.5, which is really good. If he's playing, to your point, if he's playing opposite Aiden Hutchinson, he's got Aleem McNeil and Tyreek Williams inside. He's going to get more one-on-one battles. So I wouldn't have any problem. I would not give up multiple firsts.
No, not at all.
But I would give up a second. I would give up perhaps a second and a third. I don't.
Maybe
there's
even
there's a balance there.
Yeah, maybe even 2 and 2. You give up a second and a third, and a second and a third, but like 2 years now.
For 2 years down the road.
Also, too, you don't have to pay him next year. You can franchise him. You bring him in. Let's say that the deal was this year. You bring him in this year.
Next year. You're saying don't. Yeah, I got you.
100%.
Next year. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. You bring the rest of this year, franchise him next year, and then by then you will have gotten out of him what you've needed. Either one, you've won a Super Bowl and he's helped that, or two, you see he's serviceable enough to, this is a good luck on the other Aiden for a lot of years to come. Or 3, guess what? It didn't work. See you later.
Right.
And he's one of those players that you talked about earlier. He's one of the ones that the opposing team says,
yes, 100%.
Here's the other thing it helps. It protects you. I'm not saying Aiden Hutchinson, I'm worried about him getting hurt. Football, that happens all the time. But if last year at least you had, Zadarius Smith, right? If something were to happen to him, or even if you missed a game or two, then what are you doing? You're not doing a whole lot.
Look, at the end of the day, and I'm glad you did that. It's perfect timing. With Philadelphia, look at what Philly did. They always end up coming up, correct?
Yes.
In the last 3 years, the 2 Super Bowls they went to, one they lost, one they won. But what did they do? Look at what the defensive line looked like in those 3 years. What did they do? They kept stacking, kept adding players. We got to sign Raddick, doesn't matter. Give me this player, doesn't matter. They went and got freaking Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah.
They kept adding to the defensive line until there were absolutely, positively no holes, except for in that secondary in the Super Bowl they lost. They just kept going.
Great example. The difference there is he's a 1-year guy. He was at the end of his rope. This would be a guy you'd bring in and you would hope would be part of your future as moving forward. Getting a depth guy like Ndamukong Suh might be different than getting an impact guy like Kayvon.
You're absolutely correct. They had 9 guys on the defensive line. I just added the last one of Ndamukong Suh just to throw it in there, and even they still were like, shoot, we'll get this guy that didn't even play last
100%.
year. More
and
so.
we do got 2 super chats. Let me get to those really quickly. One from our guy Freddie Felt 313.
Shout out, Freddie.
Mr. from Head to Toe Maize and Blue. He says Janet greater than signed Beyonce. Going back to the conversation earlier.
I like Janet. I'll leave that up to you guys.
Janet came out and she went ham on the comments about Jay-Z.
I don't know if she's better.
I like Janet's music more than Beyonce's.
I would say neither one can sing like Whitney Houston.
Nobody can.
Rhythm Nation.
Or Celine Dion.
Chef is cooking right now, man.
Celine is great. She ain't greater than Whitney.
And Don Trail, $5 super chat. And he has the #1 spot for top fans today in the chat. He says, would Derrick Henry put up a 2,000-yard season if prime Ray Lewis defense or the steel curtain was around?
That's the conversation I was trying to have. Thank you for that. Because back when they were getting 2,000 yards in the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, even the beginning of 2000, they were focused on the run.
Yeah.
They were only trying to shut the run down.
Could have done it against Tony Casillas and Dallas Cowboys. But it's a good point. I think it's a really good point, and the answer to that is probably no, although he's bigger than every player on that steel curtain defense back in the day, outside of maybe Ernie Holmes. Thanks a lot for joining us here on Woodward Sports and the Braylon Edwards Show. We're back with you tomorrow, 2 till 4, here on Woodward Sports.
100.
Ever wonder what goes goes on inside the game.
Deep ball's got a man and got him. Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Join Braylon Edwards and Shep.
Edwards has it. 10, 5, touchdown.
On the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Barr looks in zone. Got Edwards for the touchdown.
Where they dive deep into the heart of sports. Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m., they're bringing you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and a fresh perspective on the sports you love. Don't miss it, only on the Woodward Sports Network.